Welcome, everybody, to downtown San Rafael. Another night, San Rafael Pacific's baseball on Marin TV. Stuart Horn, Ethan Estrada, here in the opulent Marin TV television booth from Albert Park. The ceremonial first pitch being thrown out right now before tonight's game between the Pacifics and the Vallejo Admirals. The Admirals, currently in third place, Ethan, are 6 games back, but they're the league champs. They're the guys everybody's looking out for and keeping an eye on because they're sneaky good.
And right now the Pacifics are in a bit of a cold stretch, so a lot of the league has been able to catch up. Sonoma only 1 game back, which is quite incredible. But, of course, the Admirals, the defending champs, you got to be careful because they won it last year for a reason.
You're absolutely right. You don't get to be the champs unless you've got it together, and the Admirals certainly do have it together as Matt Kavanaugh is out there going over the ground rules with tonight's umpires. I know Dean Petit will be working behind the plate tonight, Ethan, in the field.
And the base umpire tonight will be Eric Thompson. He'll be manning the bases.
Eric Thompson, who came straight out of MLB, his whole career in the big leagues, and now in the twilight of his career working here at Albert Park among the independent leagues. All these guys hoping to make their way up to affiliated ball, and perhaps that will happen. Well, it's perfect weather, a slight breeze blowing over the left field wall. That is the prevailing wind here at Albert Park. Ethan, I expect a high-scoring affair tonight, although you have a couple of great pitchers going tonight, but something in my bones tells me the hot start, that is temperature-wise, the hot start for both teams in the first half, which just concluded. We're now in the home stretch. And the fact that the wind is blowing over that left field wall, I think tonight there's going to be a lot of runs scored. You, sir?
Well, when the wind's blowing out, you know it's going to be a good day for the long ball. And 2 teams who have really good offensive numbers coming in. The Pacifics with a fantastic slugging percentage at 831, and the Vallejo Admirals with a strong batting average of 286. So 2 well-rounded offensive ball clubs facing off, and a high-scoring affair is definitely not out of the question.
We'll bring to you now the Marin TV starting lineups defensively for San Rafael. In left field, it will be Javion Randall with the center fielder Don Andre Clark. Corey Dempster will start tonight over in right field. Then Zach Files at third, Rando Moreno at short, Kyle Ulande at second base, and Big Jake Taylor over at first base. Mark Lindsay starts tonight behind the dish, and Jerry Koenig, a 4-1 record, a 3.24 ERA. He's going to be on the mound for the Pacifics. And Ethan, every time Koenig goes out there, I feel a sense of relief. I feel that the Pacifics are in very good hands. And a 3.24, you can't argue with that. For the visiting Admirals, who are 25 and 21 in third place in the league, they will be sending Chevy Clark. Clark will lead off, starting in left field.
Starting pitcher tonight for your Pacifics,
Ryan Kinnery, the first baseman, will bat second, followed by Nick Akins Sr. in center field. Batting fourth will be David Kiriakos. Why do you recognize the name Kiriakos? Well, he was with the Pacifics the last time the Pacifics won a championship, and were with the Pacifics for several years. Our 7th year, the Pacifics, here in San Rafael. And Kiriakos, who's going to be batting fourth and playing shortstop, was with the Pacifics in the middle 3 years. Well, those are your first 4 hitters for the Admirals. You've got the defensive set for the San Rafaels. We're here at Albert Park, everybody. This big heavyweight title match tonight. And there's no question that's exactly what it is. And it's margarita night here at Albert Park. We're about ready for the national anthem. We'll bring that to you now, and then afterward, baseball Pacific style.
Can you see by the dawn's early
Ladies and gentlemen, Sally Holland. And now, let's meet your Pacifics on defense. Over at first base, Jake Taylor. Your second baseman, Kyle Ulande. Over at shortstop, Rando Moreno. Ulande. At the hot corner, Zach Files. In left field, Javion Randall. Your center fielder, Don Andre Clark.
A very good team on the opposing side. If you don't win, there's a chance you're tied for first place at the end of the day.
Mark Lindsay. And on the mound, Jared Koenig.
Well, as we've talked about many times in the past, fans, when you play here at Albert Park, when you watch a game, you can see that at the start of these 7:05 summer games, everybody on the field, with the exception of the first baseman, the second baseman, the catcher, are staring right into the sun. Even Corey Dempster over there in right field for the Pacifics, he's got to deal with the sun in his left eye. But I think Javion Randall out in left, Rando Moreno at short, Zach Files. Boy, those guys take the brunt of it, Ethan. And we've seen it all season long. The sun has played a huge role in the early innings of these games.
Yeah, the sun and the shadows differential when a ball is hit important play. Heck, even when you're a batter in the box facing a pitcher throwing from the sun to the shadows, you just lose the spin of the ball. And if you've ever played baseball, you know the spin of the ball is how you can tell where it's going.
Well, that's a very good point. It's hard to get a good jump, and the depth perception is always a question when the sun's in your eyes. Well, we're ready to go. Koenig, the big left-hander, deals his first pitch to Chevy Clark at 7:09 p.m. A perfect 79 degrees, Ethan. Shirt sleeves, it's great. Second pitch is slashed past the outstretched arm of the diving Zach Files at third base, straight down the line. The throw comes in quickly from Javion Randall, and we are underway. 2 pitches. Clark's aboard with a single.
Batting second for the Admirals. First base.
And here is Ryan Kinnery. Canary wears number 4. That was my old number. Just FYI, Ethan, I knew you'd want to know that. What was your old number?
7 for all 4 years of high school.
All right. Canary batting .276. Has 15 bombs and 43 driven in. That's good enough for third place in the Pacific Association of Baseball Clubs. Canary takes a slider for a strike. Oh, we're just underway. I've been looking forward to this all week. We've been off 10 days. We have, after tonight's contest, just 1 game left on the Marin TV television schedule for the Pacifics, and that'll be 48 hours from now right here at Albert Park. 7:05 on Thursday, our final telecast. Of course, always, every game, home and away, always broadcasting live with Forrest Hunt over at PacificsBaseball.com on the radio. That's almost as good as being there. That guy can paint a picture. He does a great job for Pacifics Radio. A lot of Pacifics fans here hanging out with us in the television booth. Fastball is laid in there and taken. And it is 1-2 to Ryan Kinnery. 15 bombs, so he's got, not only he's got a man aboard, but he's got some power. A snap throw over to first. And Chevy Clark dives back in safely. Nick Aiken Sr. is on deck, and another snap throw. So Koenig's totally focused on Chevy Clark over there at first base. He must have good reason. Koenig set at the belt. 2 looks over to first. Now he comes. High curveball is swung on and fouled back to the screen.
Well, Clark over there at first base, only 4 stolen bases on the season, but a leadoff man always has speed, and you can never be too careful to start off a ball game.
And early in the game, they're probably going to be aggressive, and you're right. You don't get that leadoff spot on any club unless you can move very quickly and think quickly while you're doing it. 1-2. Here's Koenig. Indoors. Even in the count, 2-2. Admirals 25-21, good for 3rd place in the league.
Okay.
Koenig comes home, and a high fastball is swung on and missed. And Canary is gone, swinging 1 away. Ooh.
Your attention, please.
I think he did the Pacifics a big favor there, Ethan. That was nowhere near the strike zone.
All right, there the batter is in battle mode, and you decide to swing away. And right now the Admirals are 4-6 in their last 10 games, only batting .260 as a team, and their earned run average a whopping .717.
4-6 in their last 10, so they're having trouble a lot like the Pacifics in their last 10.
The Pacifics as well are 6-10 in their last 10 games.
6-10 in their last 10. Now that doesn't make sense. Long fly ball down the left field wall, and it's foul. Check that stat again. Couldn't be 6-10 in the last 10.
4-6 in the last 10.
Thank you. That's what I thought you meant. So both clubs, 4-6 in their last 10. Tonight means so much, and that's just one of the many pieces that the winning team will build upon.
Once again, Cameron and Chiara.
5-6 sounds a whole lot better than 4-6.
The only difference is the Pacifics are batting .313 in their last 10 games, while the Admirals are batting .260.
Yeah, well, that's huge. In fact, it would be 5-6 against 4-7. If you think about it. One of these teams is going to leave tonight 5-6, and the other will be 4-7 as a result. Nick Aitkins Sr., batting .333 in the 3-hole. He's the center fielder, so he's a guy not only with power, but also has a ton of speed, and he's a big dude. .333 hitter, 21 bombs, leads the Pacific Association in home runs. High breaking ball. Kennedy's having a little problem with his command right now.
Missing a lot up in the zone, and that's actually an easy mechanical fix. It's a lot easier than when you're missing low in the zone. Low in the zone is more fatigue. If you're missing high in the zone, it's more of a mechanical problem. It's the arm slot.
Kyriakos on deck. He was able to get Canary with the high hard one, but as I mentioned, it was a gift to the Pacifics that Canary went around on that high fastball.
And by the looks of it, Koenig has his good stuff today. He's just having a little trouble finding that release point. And, of course, the release points, the accuracy relies on the release point, and can't throw strikes if you don't have accuracy.
Aiken stands in, a right-handed batter. 52 driven in, a man at first, 1 down. We're still in the top of the first inning, and another throw over to first. A half-hearted from Koenig. Koenig's 4-1 with a 3.24 ERA. ERA in independent ball, and I'm sure you'd agree, is somewhat deceiving, though, sometimes. Although when Mazza left, he was 0.60. Mazza was called up. He led the league in ERA. So an extremely low ERA in independent ball, I think, is telling. But a high ERA in independent ball is sometimes skewed because sometimes you'll have these crazy breakout games that are 18-16. Oh, and he got him swinging over the top of a breaking ball. And that was, to me, Ethan, the first pitch that Koenig has thrown where he was in total command of the pitch from beginning to end. He'd not looked real solid, even though he had struck out Ryan Canary. But he gets
Batting fourth for
Nick
Vallejo.
Aiken swinging.
Shortstop,
There are
number
2
20,
away.
David Kiriakos.
And since that opening rope into left field, Chevy Clark has not been able to advance. Here's David Kiriakos, the ex-San Rafael Pacific. Koenig, the lefty, again over to first. Just a rainbow over there. And you never know. A guy like Koenig may very well be setting up Clark over at first. Soft toss, soft toss. If he throws a bullet over there, Taylor might be able to swipe him out. There's a slider away. Kiriakos batting .300, has 9 bombs and 30 driven in. The veteran shortstop with 2 away. Vlad Gomez is on deck. Koenig rests at the belt. And a foul tip into the glove of Mark Lindsay. And it's 1-1. Pacific's in first place, 31-15. Just 1 game ahead of Sonoma. 6 up on Vallejo. Oh. Good take by Kiriakos, 2-2. I'm not convinced that Koenig's 100% with his command yet. But good pitchers, until they can get to that point where their command is under total control, they're able to piece things together. And there's just a fastball right across the knees taken. It's 2-2. Kiriakos right on the number, 300. Wears the hose very high. 2-2 with 2 down. 1 man on top of the first. Here it is. Runner goes. Foul tipped. Check it. Foul ball down the first base line. Wasn't a tip. He got a pretty good piece of it. And it flew over by Jane's First Base Cafe here at Albert Park. What a great season it's been, Ethan. And you've done a great job. Good old Max and Jake Moltz, those guys on the air, just super. And as I was telling you guys in our pregame talk, people that will take the time to talk about the telecast really complimented your work. All 3 of you guys. There's the high, hard one. Kiriakos swings, and after the opening rope into left field, Koenig is able to K the next 3 guys, leaving Vlad Gomez on deck. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, no score for Matt Kavanaugh's San Rafael Pacifics, who are 31-15 in first place. It'll be center fielder Don Andre Clark. Then the shortstop, Rando Moreno, and Javion Randall, the left fielder. When we come back, bottom first, no score. We'll go down to the field now for our mid-inning report. Here's Max.
By allowing a leadoff hit, he was then able to strike out the rest of the side, showing his dominance through the first inning of the game so far. And now the Pacifics are going to try to put some runs on the board early in the game. You're watching the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics on Marin TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Leading off for San Rafael in the bottom of the first, Don Andre Clark. First-year man of the Pacifics and has been such a huge part of the Pacific success this year. The center fielder, Clark, filling the shoes for the great Zach Pace. First pitch swing and popped him up. Just behind second base, backing up is Fisher. Brandon Fisher's got it, 1 away. So 1 swing, 1 pitch, 1 out.
And you're kind of disappointed to see that out of your leadoff hitter, because your leadoff hitter is supposed to be the one who goes out there, grinds, makes the pitcher work so everyone else in the lineup can see what he has. And you can't do that if you swing at a first pitch fastball and pop it up.
Well, I bet that he was probably thinking exactly what you were thinking. And so he was going to go against that standard, right? Thinking that Frank Valentino, the starting pitcher, would not suspect that Clark, a leadoff batter who's expected to grind one out, would swing at the first pitch. So here's Rando Moreno. And the top of the Pacific's order is just loaded with great hitters. Not to mention the man who's on deck, that's Javion Randall. Leading the league with, and we're talking 48 games into the season, Randall batting .414 at this point. Never seen such a thing. Moreno, who's in there and gone very quickly, swings at strike 3 in the dirt. Just a big, funky breaking ball out of Valentino. A Valentino with a 4.28 ERA is, let's see, has a 2-4 record, 56 strikeouts against 29 walks. So that's a pretty good number. So Clark pops out on the first pitch. Moreno strikes out in 4. And there are 2 away, and here is the Pacific's most dominant offensive threat, Javion Randall, who takes an off-speed breaking ball, strike 1.
And the last week he's been on a tear. 731 slugging percentage, 426 batting average.
Can you imagine? Fastball is skied first base line and into the Pacific's bullpen. And very quickly, Randall's got to think, as Valentino's ahead in the count, 0-1. No score, bottom of the first inning, everybody on Marin TV. Today's the 24th of July, and check swing at a high fastball, and the Pacifics go rather quietly here in the bottom of the first. They didn't come close to getting a hit. Just that first pitch pop-up by Don Andre Clark, Ethan, sort of set the tone for the bottom of the first.
Well, definitely. So far, it looks like it might be a pitching duel completely going against what you were preaching at the start of the game.
Well, one inning does not make a guess incorrect. But so far, it's not. Well, maybe it'll be a pitcher's duel. You know, as a fan, I always like lots of runs. But often, I like to weave a pitcher's duel in there as well. And you and I have talked about that many times. Nothing like a great pitcher's duel. Well, a great scores is down on the field for our synopsis, and that's Jake Moles. We'll send it down to Jake right now.
Stu, just like you were saying, it looks like this game might be a game of pitchers' duels. It looks like not a lot of the batters for either team can really get anything going, but then again, it is just the first inning. But if power hitters like Javion Randall, DeAndre Clark can't get on base, and it's only inning 1, then maybe someone's got to figure something out to get past these pitchers and get on base. Pitchers' duel coming your way here at Albert Park. CMCM TV.
Marin TV, Pacifics, they all get together and give communication students at Dominican an opportunity to call live professional baseball games as part of their summer class program. And Ethan, you've been doing great work, getting a lot better every game. Vlad Gomez pops one first base side. On the move is Big Jake. Oh, brother, and it lands right in front of Jane's First Base Cafe. And thankfully, everybody was keeping an eye out for one another. And nobody got hurt.
Your attention, please. I need Kai to the Pacific.
So Vlad Gomez, who bats in the 5-hole here in the top of the second inning, where we have no score. Batting .289. Ethan with 4 bombs and 32 of them driven in. Koenig heaves one in there, a fastball away, 2-1.
Even though Koenig looks like he hasn't found his exact release point yet, he's been able to work around it with his very nasty stuff so far on the mound.
Brandon Fisher on deck. There's a breaking ball into the gap in right center, and that goes all the way to the wall. Around first on his way to second is Gomez. He's going to go in standing. Jogging and standing. He didn't even need to turn on the afterburners as he rounded first. Dempster and Clark were just getting to the ball. He stuck it right in the gap out there at the base of the wall in right center field. So that's the second hit of the night for the visiting Vallejo Admirals. A double for Gomez, and here's Brandon Fisher. Fisher's first at-bat of the night. He's a 260 hitter, but has a ton of pop. 7 bombs, 25 driven in. And he wears number 25. How about that? I wonder if there's something to that, Ethan. I suspect not. But you never know. And, baseball players are all superstitious as can be. 1 man on, nobody out. Fisher squares to bunt. Consecutive pitches. And as Taylor and Files crash in from first and third, he pulls up and takes, and it's 2-0.
A little bit interesting to see the Admirals play small ball when they are such a power-hitting team. 89 home runs on the season.
Holy mackerel. 89. Koenig comes home, and there's a slider swung on and missed, and it's 2-1. By comparison, they have Vallejo has 89. Pacifics?
48.
Well, there you go. That's a offensive juggernaut. These guys can hit it. Wilson Field, the ball flies nicely over the right field wall. The Vallejo's home field at Wilson Park up in Vallejo. Boy, it's a great location up there just off the waterfront. If you've never been to Wilson Park, it's 3-1, by the way. It's really something. Although no one would disagree that the Pacific Stadium here at Albert Park is clearly the finest facility in the conference. There's something about it. As a foul ball makes the count 3-2 with Brandon Pugh, the DH, on deck. Something about this good old park that's 68 years old here in downtown San Rafael. When it was initially donated the land by Jacob Albert, who was arguably one of the most successful businessmen in San Rafael history. This was on the outskirts of town. Now it's just midtown. Koenig kicks and looks the runner back to second base. That's Gomez after that blistering double to right center. Fisher again has 7 bombs and 25 driven in. RBI-wise, the Vallejo's tough. Each individual up and down the lineup. As Koenig now comes off the rubber as Gomez is taking a gigantic lead out there. Gomez has some, I can see he has some jewelry on that's really glistening in the sun. I wonder if that's distracting to his own hitters. High, hard one is taken. And that's the first walk of the night. Brandon Fisher aboard. The DH, Brandon Pugh, is making his way to the hitting area, and Mark Lindsay is making his way to the mound. Lindsay wants a word, and here comes Taylor, and here comes Moreno. And I think they all want to just have a quick discussion about how are we going to handle this if the ball is on the ground, if it's hit to one of us, where do we go with it? And I suspect that they are going to try to get the lead runner over at third base.
And Pugh coming up to bat in the last week has batted .429.
Well, the infield is probably reminding Koenig of that incredibly high number. As Pugh is the hot hand. And you talked about it before the game started. You got to go with the hot player.
Oh, but he's hot, but the guy on deck is smoldering right now. So if he could get the double play right here, that'd be huge.
Is that a Pugh joke? He's huge. Breaking ball is low. Brandon Pugh is the cousin of Tillman Pugh, who was a veteran. And if you have listened or watched Pacific's baseball, you recognize the name Tillman Pugh. He's one of the heroes of the championship team last year for Vallejo. And he was called up. And his cousin, there's a bunt over to Files at third. Hard throw to first in time. The sacrifice is complete. Vlad Gomez to second. Fisher to check it. Gomez to third. Fisher to second. And Brandon Pugh with the sacrifice bunt gets it done. 1 away.
Batting eighth for Vallejo, catcher.
And here's Kyle Figueroa.
Kyle Figueroa.
And this man has been on the sun of late. Last week, 526 batting average, 3 doubles, 4 RBIs in the last week.
3 doubles, 4 RBIs in the last week. Figueroa, a 3.67 hitter, 24 RBIs, and a chance for a couple more right here. Breaking ball is in the dirt, scooped up nicely by Lindsay.
So not only is his batting average at 526, but his on-base percentage 684. So in the last week, that ball's looking like a beach ball up there when he's up to bat.
Fernacci is on deck. Figueroa the hitter. 1 down, 2 on. Koenig, big curveball is taken high. 2-0. Boy, that just missed. It's a gigantic rainbow. But high as it crossed through the hitting area. 2 men on. 1 man down. Koenig looks in. Here's the 2-0. And that's slash foul back to the screen. 2-1. Looking at the lineup for the Admirals as a whole, batting average-wise, as Dean Poteet takes a walk out and talks to Koenig. Poteet, of course, our home plate umpire. Derek Thompson, well, he's out in the field. But back to the Admirals' hitting numbers, they're nothing as exceptional as the Pacifics, and yet here they are in the driver's seat early in the game. We're only in the top of the second inning, no score, but that could change very quickly as this breaking ball falls in the dirt. Now it's 3-0, and Figueroa, check it, 3-1. Figueroa is in the catbird seat, whatever that means. I've heard it all my life. Here's the 3-1. Oh, there's that breaking ball, and it falls through perfectly, and our Marin TV angle from center field caught it. My heavens, what a perfect camera angle to catch the big bender from Koenig, who needs a strikeout here, something terrible. Count is full, 2 on. There's the fastball. Oh, and it's fouled off of the right shoulder of Mark Lindsay. And Lindsay needs a moment.
Second time this inning that's happened. Catcher's a tough position. You get banged up so many times, and especially those foul tips that you can't seem to catch, hit the wrong places, and those build up over a season.
But you say it's the second time it happened. Lindsay got nailed twice?
Yeah, foul ball. Same at bat.
Well, the other one was nothing like that. One almost knocked him out, it looked like. Count remains full. 1 down. Oh, there's another curveball, and that one goes off without a hitch. It's just tipped off as Figueroa manages to stay alive. I don't know how he caught up to that thing. Following up that low fastball, the one he fouled off into the shoulder of Lindsay. Then the big bender. So you go huge curveball, 12-6 style. Then the low, hard one. And then a big, another bender, and here's a 3-2, and he got him swinging through. So he goes he goes curveball, fastball. And Figueroa was simply way too far behind, high 80s fastball. And with 2 down,
Third baseman, number 8.
here's Chris Fernacci. Runners at second and third, and Koenig. Can Koenig hold it together and get the Pacifics back to the plate in the bottom of the inning? Minimize the damage, or he actually has an opportunity for no damage. The bunt sacrifice by Brandon Pugh set the Vallejos in perfect position. But now can they make it work? First pitch swinging to left field. Javion Randall to his right. He's under it. Sun's in his eyes, and he makes the grab. Chris Fernacci on one swing flies out to Javion Randall, and Koenig with that 3.24 ERA gets out of the big jam, Ethan.
Oh, yeah, that was huge. The Admirals with a lot of power on their side, but Koenig buckles down and does not allow the run in a very tough situation. Great job to keep it scoreless.
We'll go bottom 2. It'll be Brent Gillespie, Jake Taylor, and Zach Files. Still no score. We'll send it down to the field. And here's Max.
Well, the Pacifics just threw another shutout inning, some more dominant strikeouts, and have been playing solid defense the entire game. There were a couple hits let up early, but the pitcher no longer has the sun in his eyes, and we'll see if that makes any improvement to the couple hits he's given up. You're watching you're watching the San Rafael Pacifics on Marin TV.
Welcome back, everybody, in the bottom of the second inning here on Marin TV. Pacifics managed to get out of a tough top of the inning. Here's Brent Gillespie, the 4-hole hitter. Curveball is taken from Valentino for a called strike. Gillespie batting .287. Holds the bat high, the left-handed batting Gillespie. You know, and Ethan, I wonder if you would agree with this, but Gillespie's .287 batting average doesn't really speak to when he gets his big hits. He tends to connect with the ball and hit it very hard when it matters most. There's a slider low, and now it's 2-1.
Yeah, Kavanaugh has Gillespie in the 4-hole for a reason, because he is very clutch when it comes to his hard hits. Not only, especially with runners in scoring position, he gets doubles, hard hit singles.
The 2-1 is taken. Now it's 3-1, and Gillespie's one pitch away from getting the Pacifics to a mini rally, as much as a walk constitutes a rally. And he pops him up. And this should be an easy play for Fernacci over at third, and it is. One away.
Please. I need Samuel, Cole, Jack, and William to the Pacific's first.
And here's Big Jake Taylor.
Now batting for your Pacifics, sponsored by
Taylor, with 8 bombs and 35 driven in, is one of those guys that everybody likes to stop and watch. Taylor changed his walk-up music. And players do that sometimes mid-season. And we are right in the middle of the season. Pacifics just celebrated a tremendous first half. And this is the first time they're back at home officially in the second half. Taylor slams one into left field, and that's a base hit. So Taylor just keeps them coming. That's the first hit of the night for San Rafael. A rocket between third and short. And here's Zach Files.
Pacific's third baseman, number 18, Zach Files.
Coming into tonight's action, Files batting .266. He's got Mark Lindsay, the catcher, on deck. One away, Taylor the runner at first. Bottom 2, Valentino delivers low, 1-0.
And Taylor being the first base runner of the day for the Pacifics, it really helps to see what the pitcher can do out of the stretch. Sometimes the pitcher completely changes.
That wide release point, and all of a sudden Valentino's having trouble, much the way that Koenig did in the top of the inning. That is locating the pitch. Here's the 2-0, bottom of the second. And now he goes upstairs. Well, he went 3-1 against Gillespie before he got Gillespie to pop up to the third baseman, which accounts for the one out so far. Here in the bottom of the second. Now he goes 3-0, and it's taking all the way is Zach Files. Not it, but he. Files is taking 3-1.
And in this current 4-6 stretch for the Admirals, pitching staff ERA 7.27. That's what's been letting them down.
It's funny how pitching Things sort of begin and end with pitching. This Files swings through a fastball. It swung right underneath it, in fact. Files batting .266. He does have some good pop, Files, the third baseman. Look, you can see his uniform. He has strong legs, and he really uses them to great effect to push off. He's got 9 bombs and 26 driven in. Runner goes. Long fly ball into left center, and it's off the base of the wall. Scoring from first is Jake Taylor. On his way to third is Files. Here's the relay, the slide. He's out!
Zach Files.
Wow, that was a fantastic at-bat from Zach Files, working the count full on a pitcher who had a little bit of struggle, but he dominated in the first inning, then crushes the ball, but to the deepest part of the yard and off the wall. And Jake Taylor able to score from first, running on the pitch. That helped a lot.
That did help a lot, and that's just the second triple of the season for Zach Files. Here's Mark Lindsay, everybody. 1 man in, and the Pacific's lead 1-0 in the bottom of the second. After a harrowing start to the second inning, first pitch swinging, backhanded by the shortstop Kyriakos onto first, 2 down. Well, Lindsay on one pitch hit it right at the sure-handed David Kyriakos at short.
Number 55, Corey Dempster.
And here's Corey Dempster. I like what you were saying earlier. That is, your first time through the lineup, you want to make the opposing pitcher work a little bit, and also to kind of get a sense of what he's about, what he's got. Is his stuff working? First pitch swinging. I know you can make an argument in favor of it, but I've never been a huge fan of it the first time through the order.
Argument can be made when you get a hit.
There you go. When it works. Along the lines of the superstitions in baseball. Lots of guys say, it might be weird, but it's only weird if it doesn't work. Rope toward third. Fernacci up with it. On to first in time. And Dempster is gone. 5 to the covering 3. Well, 1 run on 2 hits. And after 2 complete, the Pacific's lead by a score of 1-0. Pacific's got a little something going there, and they worked with it, especially on the heels of a tough top of the second. We'll go to the top of the third inning. For the Admirals, it will be the top of the order. Chevy Clark, Ryan Canary, and Nick Akins Sr. coming up. It's a 1-0 ball game, and down to the field, here's Jake.
Stu, if you want to talk about night and day, all you have to look at is that first inning compared to that second inning for the Pacifics. Jake Taylor gets the first hit, gets the momentum going, and Zach Files, amazing at-bat, good eye, gets 3 balls in, good, keeps himself a good cushion, finds the right ball to hit, and gets himself a triple hit with an RBI, tags the first one off for the Pacifics, and we have the ball rolling here at Albert Park. Don't change the channel. Pacific's right here on cmcm.tv/live and Marin TV.
And welcome back to live coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics here on CMCM TV. The Pacifics lead the Admirals 1-0, and Jared Koenig gets ready to start off the top of the third with ball 1 to the leadoff man, Chevy Clark. Clark, his first time up, roped a base hit past the third base bag in the first inning. Koenig evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Interesting game so far. Both pitchers with ease got out of the first inning. Second inning, different story. Offense decided to show up. Only difference is Koenig worked his way out of it as he delivers strike 2 to Chevy Clark. 2 Clarks on the top of the order for the Pacifics. Don Andre Clark. For the Admirals, Chevy Clark. Interesting. And that is a ball inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Koenig trying to find that rhythm that he found at the end of the first inning. Had a little bit of trouble in the second, but was able to work around it. And here comes the pitch, and that is inside. A little breaking ball just misses the inside corner. Count is full. As Koenig gets the sign and the 3-2 curveball. Ball 4, missed inside. Just missed. And Clark has reached both times here against Koenig. And he starts off the top of the third just like he wants it. So now here comes Ryan Canary, the number 2 hitter.
First baseman, Ryan Canary.
He was the first strikeout victim of Koenig back in the first. Swung out on a very high fastball. After the at-bat, you know he was kicking himself for swinging at that one. So now a lefty-on-lefty matchup for Koenig. And he will check back, and they got him picked off. Throw to second. Not even a doubt. Clark is picked off, trying to steal second base. And there it is. Koenig was very cautious with him in the first inning, throwing over a bunch. And now it pays off as they catch him trying to nab second base. And the first pitch to Canary misses upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. That misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Base runners are a nuisance. And Koenig has had a little trouble with base runners, averaging at least 1 per inning. And that one was erased right away as a swing and a miss from Canary. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'm a big fan of the new age stats, and one of the stats that I love to look at for pitching is whip. And a lot of you out there might be asking yourself, what is whip? What does that stand for? That is walks, hits, innings pitched, as another swing and a miss by Canary evens the count up at 2-2. And I like whip. It shows how much base runners a pitcher allows per inning, and Koenig has a 1.35, a little over 1 base runner an inning. And the 2-2, swing and a miss, got him again. The high heat. Canary can't lay off, and he can't catch up. 2 down. And I'm joined once again by Stuart Horn.
Hi, I'm back. Just a quick break, and you are doing a great job.
Thank you.
No, you sound good, and the explanation of whip. That's good. You know, it's one of those sabermetrics. In the age of sabermetrics, because I'll tell you, prior to
ball 1 misses upstairs to Nick Aiken Sr.
Prior to all the record keeping, the stats have just grown so many different ways, and a whip is a perfect example of something that was just, you know, baseball's always been about stats, and the sabermetrics guys.
Swing and a miss. Great curveball down low. Started at the knees, ended in the dirt. Aiken say he tips it, but nonetheless, it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Aikens thought it was strike 3, I think. I mean, he's up there swinging at everything. That the first one, the fastball upstairs, was way over his head, and this was in the dirt, literally. Kind of helping Koenig out.
The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a foul back and hits the screen, protecting the fans behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, Aiken struck out back in the first and did Koenig some favors there, too. Maybe I would, if I were his coach, P.J. Phillips might say, look, maybe wait for your pitch. It's easier said than done.
The 1-2 swing and a line drive base hit past the dive. A Zach Files. Randall will collect it, get it in fast, but it is another base runner for Jared Koenig.
He really waited for his pitch that time. You know, I mean, you could tell the balance, his patience, it was all there, and he got a breaking ball right at the belt, and he nailed it. He hit that ball hard.
So now here comes the shortstop, David Kyriakos. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And the first pitch from Koenig is strike one right at the knees. Good fastball.
Yeah, the top of the order is always tough when you play against the league champions.
The pitch, swinging a pop-up, way back and way out of play.
Whoa! Broken glass, fix it fast.
So now no balls, 2 strikes to Kyriakos. My favorite stat of Koenig, though, is not only his league-leading amount of strikeouts, over 75, but his opponent's batting average is a .219, which is incredible. The pitch is in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Koenig has really established himself as one of the elite pitchers in the league. There's no question about it. And while he didn't get the start on opening day, if Koenig's here next season, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the guy.
Molding into a heck of a pitcher here for the Pacifics.
Yep.
And the 1-2 pitch. Oh, nasty curveball. Got him looking. Out of the sky and onto the corner. That'll end it. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 caught stealing. It is 1-0 Pacifics over the Admirals. And due up for the Pacifics will be Kyle Ulande, Don Andre Clark, and Rando Moreno. And now we'll send it down to the field to Max.
You have the dirtiest car in the lot tonight.
3 innings, 3 hits allowed, but has still yet to yield a run as he's been simply dominant thus far. Let's see if he can keep it up in these next upcoming innings. You're watching the 2018 NFL Pacifics on Marin TV.
And welcome back to the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics live coverage. You just missed a Kyle Ulande first pitch ground down to the shortstop, David Kyriakos. So now we go back to the top of the lineup with Don Andre Clark as they get ready to face Frank Valentino, who has really pitched relatively well, just 1 rough inning, and a very hard hit ball by Zach Files that went to the deepest part of the park, rattled around for a triple. And that's why the Pacifics have a 1-0 lead. The first pitch to Clark is called a strike. Clark leads the team in stolen bases with 17. That's why he is on the top of the lineup. 17 stolen bases in 23 attempts. Swinging a foul, a little bit of an awkward swing, and sends it onto the street. No balls, 2 strikes.
Pacific's first base dugout for musical chairs.
And now Valentino will step off the rubber and relax a little bit, try to reset the signs with the catcher, Kyle Figueroa, behind the dish. And the 0-2 swing and slaps it foul right to Cavanaugh, trying to barehand it. Probably not the best idea on a grass-cutting ground ball.
Well, it's been a while since Cavanaugh's been on the field. Of course, this one he missed because he's in the third base coach's box. And while he's a great manager, and he's still got the cat-like reflexes, I'll give him that. He's over there with no glove.
And the 0-2 pitch to Clark misses way upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Clark has been the well, you can argue he's been the linchpin for the Pacifics offense because no lineup is great if their leadoff hitter's not great because he sets the table. And the 1-2 pitch, swinging a chopper foul, staying alive. And that's exactly what a leadoff hitter wants to do. Battle, stay alive, see as many pitches as you can. And even though he's second in this inning, Ulande swung at the first pitch, so the rest of the guys haven't really gotten a good look. So Valentino gets ready and delivers and misses up and away again. 2 balls, 2 strikes as Clark refuses to go down. And the 2-2 pitch from Valentino. That's a ball outside. He worked it full. Fantastic at-bat thus far from Don Andre Clark. So far, an 8-pitch at-bat. And the 9th pitch coming. And that misses inside, a 9-pitch walk. Great at bat from Don Andre Clark.
First walk of the night registered by Valentino. And at a good time for the Pacifics. Hey, we have Mike Shapiro, the president and general manager, who's going to sit in my spot and hang out with you for a half an inning. How about that, Ethan?
Well, that's pretty cool. Pickoff back to first base. And now I am joined by Mike Shapiro, the owner and general manager of the Santa Fe Pacifics. How are you doing today, sir?
It is a beautiful night for baseball.
Oh, it is so beautiful.
It's always nice here.
So now Rando Moreno steps in, and he's been on a really good hot streak of late.
You know, Rando, who I would consider to be the MVP of this league, has he's upped his average from the first 2-3 weeks of the season. He was struggling a little bit at around 180, 190, and then he caught fire and leads the league in doubles now, and is hitting over 300 and still playing the best shortstop in the league.
And the next pitch, swinging a line drive, hammered into the alleyway. Akins misses it, and it'll roll all the way to the wall. Clark with plenty of speed. He will score. There goes Moreno to third, standing. A stand-up triple and the second RBI triple of the night.
How about that? You don't usually see a lot of triples and 2 in one night.
Not alone a stand-up triple.
You know, it's one of the things we did with the club this year. As you'll note, we're not. We ordinarily lead the league in home runs or right up there. This year, we're next to last in home runs, but we're leading the league in batting average, in doubles and in triples. So, you know, we added speed and defense and better pitching, and you can see the difference between a last place club and a first place club.
So now that'll bring up Javion Randall, who has had a fantastic season, to say the least.
Well, Javion, we recruited out of the Pecos League, where he hit 420 last year. So while he's hitting, 410 or so here, it's not like he hasn't done it before. He's a 400 hitter. You don't see those a lot.
And the 0-1 pitch, swinging another pop-up. Foul out of play, no balls, 2 strikes.
And Javion has added that dimension of speed to the team as well. So if you look at the top of our order, you got Don Andre Clark, who's the fastest guy in the league. Rando Moreno's got great speed. Javion, great speed. So you can see what the top of our order can generate.
Ball 1 from Valentino, misses down low. And I love the inside baseball part. I love looking at the numbers and how to try to fit together a team. And you being the general manager of the Pacifics, what attributes do you really look at when trying to sign this player, recruit this player, trade for this player? As that ball misses down and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, in the offseason, it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together to some extent. But you start with the idea of pitching and defense. You want to have the best pitching staff you can possibly put together, and you want to have a good defensive team, and then you start building around that. And again, it depends on what pieces you have left over from the prior year, how many guys have come back. You take a look at what's available out in the marketplace. We have a network of scouts who help find players for us, and we do a lot of legwork during the off season trying to figure out how are we going to piece this team together. But as I said, this last year, coming off of a last place finish last year, our intent was to take a look at the places where we were having problems. So we were striking out too many times last year. We made errors too many times last year, and we had way too many walks last year. So we had to address those questions first. And that's getting new pitching, strengthening our pitching staff, getting a better defensive team.
Swinging a little squibber off the bat to the first baseman, and they will have no play. Canary didn't know where to go. He was caught up with Moreno at third, and Randall's speed didn't allow him to make the play at first.
I'd love to say that was a pre-planned play, but I think we got lucky on that one. Rando came down the line thinking either that's going to squib away and they're going to go to first and he'll have a chance to score. But when it didn't do that, he had to scramble back. And fortunately, again, speed is the name of the game, at least on offense. Yeah, it's great to have power, but speed, there's no defense to speed.
So now here comes Brent Gillespie. He popped up to the third baseman his last time. And runners at the corners. He swings at the first pitch, lofts it down the line, but it'll go foul and out of play.
We've had Brent now on the club. I think this is his third season, and he is one of those prototypical middle-of-the-order kind of guys. You're going to get 20 home runs. You'll get 50, 60 RBIs out of him. He's going to get you his big hits, but he's not one of the speed guys.
One giveaway to that is he is the DH. And Valentino will step off and ask for new signs.
But he's going to give you your RBIs. He'll hit with runners in scoring position. I mean, he's a good, solid, middle-of-the-order guy. He and Jake Taylor, provide that power.
Pitch, and there's a drive. That ball is way out of here. Brent Gillespie with a 3-run shot. All of a sudden, 1-0 is 4-0.
Or 5-0 if you take a look at it.
Oh, yeah, 5-0.
Well, we were just talking about power, and we're talking about what a perfectly balanced team is made of. And again, as we worked through the offseason trying to compose this team, it was built on pitching, defense, and let's get some speed. Let's get some power. And that's how you create a balanced ball club.
And balance is definitely what the Pacific lineup has. You have the guys who hit for average and have tons of speed on the top, and then you get to the middle with Gillespie and Taylor, and they have tons of pop in their bat.
And that's not to say that if you look at the 5, 6, 7 hitters, I mean, we got Zach Files, who I think is possibly Rookie of the Year, one of the best defensive third basemen we've ever had, at least on the Pacifics. And he has some pop, and he has been providing some big clutch hits from the left-hand side. So we also have, what makes this a balanced club is we also have a good mix of left-handed hitters and right-handed hitters, so it's hard to defend against that. And even better, at the top of the order with Clark and Moreno, they're both switch hitters.
So now swing and a foul, backing out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jake Taylor. And geez, that Gillespie home run. Aiken Sr. didn't even move.
Yeah, that ball was long gone.
So now the 1-2 pitch to Jake Taylor from Valentino. And he got him looking. Strike 3.
This has been a different type of season for Jake Taylor. The past 2 seasons, Jake has led the league in home runs and RBI, and has hit around 290, 300. Well, he's hitting 310, 320 most of this year, but his home runs are down. Average up, home runs down. So, again, it just goes to show you what this club has been able to produce, and again, somewhat according to the game plan.
So the first pitch from Valentino misses inside for ball 1 to Zach Files, the rising star third baseman, Zach Files. As Valentino's 1-0 pitch, he checked his swing.
So we found Zach. We scouted him out. Our head scout Dan DePace down in the California Winter League. He was playing there out of Florida International University, and I saw him down there with Dan. Said, "You got to take a look at this guy, because we've been looking for a third baseman for a while. That's one position we just haven't really found the right solution to." And I took a look at him. He was actually playing shortstop down there, and he was playing on Dan's team. And I said, "Dan, let me see him for a game or two over at third."
Ooh, big bender from Valentino, evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So Dan moved. He said, "Yeah, if you want to look at him at third, let's give that a try." And I'm going, "Oh my God, this guy's got the footwork, he's got the soft hands, he's got the strong arm of a third baseman." And then his swing down there was long,
And there it is.
Like that long swing.
Strike 3 got him swinging, and that will end the inning, but not before Brent Gillespie cracks it wide open. It is 5-0 Pacifics over the Admirals, and it's been a very great time talking to you, mister.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it tremendously.
So now we will send it.
Roadside barbecue is located in the Northgate.
And now we will get ready to send it down to our sideline reporter, Jake.
Coming in out of the end of this inning, all I'd have to talk about was that insane, repeat triple with an RBI from Moreno. But, of course, Gillespie has to step up and get a 3-1 home run just to, tack a nice 3 runs on there, bring the lead up to that golden number of 5 over the Vallejo Admirals. So the Pacifics are looking nice and pretty, sitting at 5-0, going into the top of the 4th. Don't miss the game here at Albert Park on Marin TV.
Welcome back, everybody, to our continuing coverage on Marin TV of the 2018 Santa Fe Pacifics. Yours truly, Stuart Horn, and of course, you just heard from the GM, Mike Shapiro. He's going to do a half inning with me, and I go back with Mike all 7 years, literally before the start of the Pacifics. Although we got together as a result of the Pacifics back in the chambers up there on 5th Avenue, trying to convince the board of directors to allow baseball to come to Albert Park. And here we are 7 years later.
Here we are. Who would have thought that we would have made it this far, Stu? After, all those city council hearings and the Parks and Rec Department hearings and all the crazy neighbors.
I love sitting with you and reminiscing as Vlad Gomez steps in and fouls one back into the parking lot. It's 1-1.
It's been a remarkable journey.
It really has. And if I had to bring up one thing that I remember, it's the kids out on 5th Avenue who are dressed up like a Snickers bar and a hot dog and a
Cracker
Jacks and all of these things. They wanted baseball so badly. And, of course, I did too, 1-2. And, Koenig's got that big bender working. He's got this crazy curveball, and he's landing it 8 out of 10 times.
Well, we've seen Jared go through a few rough games in a row, but after a great start. His first 4 or 5 starts, he was unhittable. Then he had a couple of games where he just had a hard time with his release point, had a real rough time being able to spot that curveball and then to control his fastball to back it up. But tonight you're seeing the old Jared back again.
Man, he is really, the first inning, he was a little sketchy, but the Pacifics were able to get out of it. They're in the top of the second, as I recall. They had runners at second and third with 1 down. He was able to get out of it, and since then he's just been great. And it's got to help as a pitcher to get some nice offense.
Well, offense always helps. Good defense, good offense.
I like both.
Everything behind you, helps.
I do like both. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up. It's a 5-0 ball game.
We were having a great chat before you came back, but I never mentioned one major factor for this team this season.
Fastball blew it by Gomez. And another strikeout for good old Koenig, one away.
And we were going through how the team was formed on pitching and defense, and we looked at speed and how we assembled the team this year. But what we didn't talk about is
Now back
one of
to
the
Admirals.
one of the biggest
Second baseman,
factors behind the
Brandon
team's success
Fisher.
this year, and that's Max Beatty. Max
Oh.
Beatty has been nothing short of brilliant. He's 8-1. He's had 5 complete games already this season.
You don't throw around words like brilliant or great.
No, but
he is.
and especially at this level of play, where it's a development league, we know what we're here for.
Yeah.
You know, our job is to move these players up and out. Well, Max, who he was at AAA with the White Sox a year ago, and got released, and we brought him back in, and he knows he's not going anywhere.
Brandon Fisher takes high, 1-1.
So he's here for the love of the game, and because he likes hanging out with us more than anything. But
and a lot of people would ask though, when you say, "Oh, he's not going anywhere," but he's sort of dominant in the league. In a development league, why wouldn't he go somewhere?
well, the number one reason is because of his age. He's like 28 now, I think,
Right.
which to someone like me, that's like I can't even remember that far back. But in baseball years, that's ancient.
High pop up, just beyond Jane's first base cafe and out of play 2-2.
But what Max has done it has just been incredible. He, besides the 5 complete games, who throws complete games anymore?
Nobody.
But besides that, he's had most of his games have been under 3 hours. Who
Popped
does
him
that
up.
anymore?
Yeah, popped him up just behind home plays on it. Fisher swinging nicely, kind of inside out at him there. Count remains 2-2. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And Koenig's looking good. Yeah, so what a perfect thing, though, if you're a Pacifics fan, to have a 28-year-old dominant pitcher who is just right for us.
Well, and you also know that every time it's his turn to go out there, you're going to see a bulldog, a guy who's going to battle through every inning, and he does not want to come out of games.
Brandon Pugh's on deck. Long fly ball. Deep left field. On the move is Randall. He can't get to it. It's up off the base of the wall. Long throw in. Here it is. On the way. Head first slides. He's safe.
That was a really nice play by Javion Randall in left field. Got the ball off and it lands softly because of the signage on the wall.
Yeah.
Balls don't bounce back at you, so he had to chase that thing down, and from deep left field made a throw right on the money.
He really did. He was able to get it in there. Lande tried to apply the tag, but Fisher slid in head first, just under everything, just a second or so behind as the ball came in. He has a double with one down. Here's Brandon Pugh, the DA.
This is an interesting game in a lot of respects. Vallejo probably has the best power in the league. They lead the league in home runs and
By a lot.
By a lot, yeah. And yet the Pacifics lead in batting average. And if you look through the team statistics, they're neck and neck, both teams.
Pugh takes an outside black,
So-
little slide piece, 1 strike on him.
The trade-off for the Pacifics this year has been home runs for batting average. We're
I'll take
stealing a lot of
average.
yeah, I'll take average too.
Yeah.
And it's working. We're in first place.
That's absolutely right. By 1 game over Sonoma and 6 games over Vallejo. But this is a heavyweight battle tonight. There's no question about it. Vallejo are the champs. Pacifics would like to be the champs again as soon as possible. And I guarantee that all Pacifics fans worldwide are thinking the same thing. 1-1 now. To Brandon Pugh, the cousin of Tillman Pugh, who was a Pacifics killer his whole time at Vallejo.
Last year was an abnormality for us.
Fastball is high, 2-1.
We finished last, and there's a lot of reasons why. You can go through all of that, and in large part, we started off the season coming out of spring training with none of the starting pitchers that we had planned on.
Well, everybody was hurt.
Everybody either got, we had Tommy Johns, and one guy got called up, and another guy, so none of our we had to completely find a starting staff, and by the way, 2 of our bullpen guys. So we had virtually no pitching coming out of spring training, and it took us the better part of the year to get, some talent that we felt could compete at this level. And at the same time, the whole league, the level of play for the whole league has increased.
Well, but you and I have been around since day one. I mean,
Heads up, Stu. How about that?
The bat got away from Brandon Pugh. That's not the first time I've been sitting here, and I remember on the third base side in 2013, a bat got over there and almost wrapped around my neck.
Well, that one, if it weren't for this fence, would have wrapped around you.
That one would have caught my neck. And Brandon Pugh just had it slip right out of his hands.
It did
And
catch your attention, though.
It certainly did.
No, you were going to say we've looked at this from the beginning, you and I, and have seen
Every season, the whole league,
Yes.
the league as a whole gets better and better. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and in part it's because first of all, we're the only independent league left on the West Coast.
Is that right?
That's right. And
That's
and
incredible.
If you look at independent baseball as a whole, while there are the higher level leagues in like the Atlantic League and the American Association,
Figueroa just swung through just a nasty breaking ball. You know, I got to ask you this. I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
I want to
sure.
go back to that thought. But Koenig's throwing these just high cheese, and for some reason the Vallejos are going after it, and then he follows it up with something literally in the dirt like that last pitch,
Yeah.
and Figueroa's dancing out of the way of it, but swinging at it at the same time.
well, that's the deception part.
There it is.
And again, he's had a really great balance of velocity and deception. And pitching isn't always so much about velocity as it is about movement on the ball.
And
It's
keep
about
it hidden as long as
deception.
possible.
Yeah, that's the deception part.
There's another breaking ball and just chopped at. Figueroa's just trying to stay alive, 0-2.
And what is really tough for these guys is not only the change in velocity and the change in direction, and he's change in eye level, but he's got a late breaking curveball and a late breaking slider. And the later you can break, the harder it is to hit.
Chopper towards short. Running in on it is Moreno. Long throw. Got him! That Moreno is something else.
We were talking earlier. To me, Rando Moreno is the MVP of this league. He is by far the best shortstop we've ever seen in this league. And he's hitting a good 310, 320.
320?
Yeah, so you get a guy like that. There's the kind of guy who you talk about the talent level coming up.
Yeah.
There's a guy, and I don't know if we have time to talk about it, but the story about how we found him is fascinating.
Well, give it to us. We're dying to hear it.
So, the story starts with Jose Casilla, who called me out of the blue during the offseason, and he said, look, my brother pitches here. I just got released by the San Jose Giants. I'd like to pitch, and be able to hang with my brother. And I go, okay, who are you? And he goes, oh, my name is Jose Casilla, and I said, is your brother Santiago?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. And he goes, oh, okay, you can come pitch for us. And
We'll
he said,
take that.
Hey, we'll take that. And he said, can I bring some of my friends along too? And I go, sure. And one of them happened. He said, do you need a shortstop?
No.
Yeah.
That's where Moreno comes from.
Well, and then let me give you the backstory. That's how we got him.
Okay.
Here's the backstory on Rando Moreno. He was in the Giants organization, signed from the age of 17 or 18 in the Dominican Republic, and worked his way up to Double-A with the Giants. And the Giants were looking to promote somebody to the major leagues, a shortstop to the major leagues. They had two guys. They had Rando and this other guy named, I think his name is Brandon Crawford. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy.
Vaguely familiar.
And so they made the decision to bring this Crawford guy to the majors, and I guess it worked out okay for them, but didn't work out so well for Rando. And so he was stuck in the minors and then aged out too, 26, 27.
Yeah.
New prospects started coming in, and he got forced out.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he made it to AAA with the Giants. Hit 290 there in AAA.
Yeah, we're still on.
So I mean, that's why this guy is so good. And what you are seeing out there is a true major league ready level shortstop.
That's a great story, and I kind of knew the story about Casilla, who's of course the Pacific's ace closer.
Well, and he brought with him Fernando Baez, who is nothing short of brilliant.
My favorite Pacific's pitcher this year.
I'm with you on that. Outside of Max Beatty.
Yeah. For lots of different reasons, but from the first time I saw Baez throw, I turned to Forrest, your radio guy, and said, that's my favorite pitcher. I could tell already just something about his release, and he throws so hard.
Yeah, he's 94. And have you noticed, for 4 or 5 innings,
there's a line drive over to first, scooped up very quickly by Kinnery.
Almost every game for the first 4 or 5 innings or so, nobody gets hits off of him. He's always got a no-no going into the 4th or the 5th or the 6th. And he's just overpowering.
That's the thing. When it comes to pitching, I don't know what it is, but I've just always loved the hard-throwing guys. Now, the Pacifics have had good, Chris Rice, what was that, 2014? Rice had 8 different pitches.
Yeah.
I think he had 8 pitches.
He couldn't throw any of them for strikes.
It didn't matter. Guys were swinging at him anyways. But I just love power pitching. Something about it.
I think you like what you were saying about Koenig, who's probably throwing 91, 92.
Yeah, he's throwing hard tonight.
But you got to back it up, because listen, professional hitters are going to hit fastballs.
Absolutely right.
And you need to. That'll scatter the bullpen.
Ooh, brother, that went right into the Vallejo bullpen at 142 miles an hour on a gun.
But you have to have more than a fastball. You can throw 99, 100. If it's flat, professional hitters are going to hit it. So again, going back to what we were talking about, velocity is great, but you got to have movement. You have to have deception.
1-1 to Corey Dempster, the Pacific's right fielder. Does Dempster have the kind of arm that? Because most of the time, general managers will put the best arm of the outfield in right field. Isn't that true?
Yeah, no, Dempster has speed and a great glove, and he's got a really good arm. He's got ball jumps off his bat. He just has to find the ball a few more times and make, I think, more contact.
Ulande is on deck. There's a late-breaking slider outside, taken 2-2.
But you look at his numbers, he's got a lot of extra base hits out of, the whatever the number of hits he's got. Look at how many extra base hits he's got in that number.
Yeah, he's got 4 doubles and 3 triples, more than anybody else on the team.
And a couple of home runs here and there out of how many hits? His extra base hit percentage is pretty high.
19 hits out of 60. He's batting .317, very respectable.
Yeah.
More than respectable, in fact.
And so he was another guy. We had an injury and needed to find another outfielder and got him out of USC.
2-2, long fly ball into the gap in left center. It's on its way, and it's off the base of the wall. No indication that it was a home run. Here's the relay into third. He slides. He's in. Corey Dempster on a 2-2 fastball, ropes into the base of the wall, and another 3-bagger. That's a third triple tonight.
Third triple tonight, and we just called it. This guy hits extra
He
bases.
can hit extra bases.
I know.
So what did I just say? I just said it a moment ago that Dempster had 3 triples. That's his 4th. That leads the team by double.
It's incredible that this guy gets his hits, but most of the time they're extra base hits. So you could see the pop in his bat.
Well, when you sat in with Ethan, you talked about what a good hitter Gillespie is. He hits a home run. This is roped up the middle for Ulande, an RBI, bumbled in center field by Nick Aiken Sr. Ulande stops at first. And the Pacific's lead, 6-0. How about that?
Well, Ulande's he's the super utility guy. Every team has to have a Ulande. He can play third, short, second. I'm sure you could put him almost anywhere, and he'll play well. And he's filling in right now for Aaron Brill, who, is the world's greatest second baseman.
Let me ask you this. He's not taking a pitch tonight.
No.
He's batted twice and hit the first pitch both times. Here's Don Andre Clark at the top of the order. He golfs one into shallow left center. Moving over is Chevy Clark, and he's got it 2 away.
So we're expecting Aaron Brill back. He's had some knee problems. He took a cortisone shot on Monday, and we're hoping he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow. And so as we were talking about with Ethan, how you compose a team between good pitching and good defense, you look at our defense with Files at third, Moreno, the best shortstop in the league. When Aaron Brill is in there, he's dramatically acrobatic.
I heard you guys talking about what a great get Files has been as Rando steps in, takes a breaking ball for a called strike. But I go back, through all the years of Pacific's baseball, and we've always struggled in the third base. But Files.
Well, Files, he's probably the closest thing to Donani.
Curveball is in the dirt to throw down to second, and they got him with a perfect toss from Figueroa to Fisher. And the tag is applied, and as it turns out, Ulande is dead by 8 feet.
Not sure what he was thinking there.
I don't know. He was protesting, but I could see it from here. And I'm 92.5 feet away, and he was dead. But, yeah, so Donani.
Name who else have we ever had at third base?
Well, Hammer and Henry Calderon.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're digging deep. Because I would say when Jake Taylor first came up, that first half season, he played a pretty good third base for a while.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to say, does memory serve? Didn't Taylor start with the Pacifics at third and his jersey wide open all the way to the belt?
And you know, he had some clanks in that glove, and some wild throws, but in the end, outside of Kyle Donani, I'd take Zach Files.
Oh no, Files is a complete package. Seems like a good guy and a really well balanced guy. Hey, Mike, thank you very much.
My pleasure,
Mike
Stu.
Shapiro, the president and general manager of the Pacifics, and now we'll send it down to the field. Here's Ethan.
CMCM TV has not caught a blowout yet, and in the top of the 5th inning, it is 6-0 Pacifics after a Dempster triple tacks on one more. You are watching the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics here on Marin TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Fernacci is going to lead things off here. It's a 6-0 ball game, San Rafael. Pacifics in first place, but only up on Sonoma by 1 game, as Fernacci is in there 2-0.
Last time we were together, Stu, they were up by 5, I think, about 2 weeks ago, 2.5. One of those Tuesdays that we were back, they were up by. They had a big lead. So to be back again, finally in the booth with you, and they're only up by 1. You know, still first place in the conference, but to only be up by 1, that's
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant 5 runs.
Oh,
they were 5
yeah.
games up
Right.
in first place over the second place. At the time, it was Vallejo. But then Vallejo went on kind of a bad streak, and Sonoma went on a good winning streak. And a fastball is swung on and missed by Fernacci, and it's 2-2. So now I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Well, you know, you get in the second half of the season, and everybody starts playing better. There's no question about it. Fernacci, his second at-bat, he's 0 for 1. Tonight, a fly ball to left field, tracked down by Javian Randall. That was back in the second inning, and this is fouled back to the screen. And the count remains 2-2. Chevy Clark is on deck, and he'll be followed by Ryan Canary.
The Pacific's dugout, please.
And, you know, we're not even halfway through the game yet, but the San Rafael Pacifics have a perfect record when Marin TV telecasts their games. Now, I don't want to jinx anything, but every game you and I have done, and I have Jake Moles to my right. He's my trusty sidekick here as we are in, what are we in? We're in the 5th inning.
5th, top of the 5th.
We haven't lost a game yet on a telecast, so can we keep that going? What do you think? And it was a full moon last time. Now that's not a full moon, but that's very close.
It's close enough where it's a big enough of a moon. We're in the booth, and you know the stats don't lie. Especially being up 6-0. You know, again, like Stu said, no one wants to jinx anything, but being up 6-0 on the top of the 5th, and looking as electric and alive, and not like a team that's only up by 1 game as the Pacifics are right now. It's hard to see an outcome where the Admirals pick it up and tack on, 7 to even get ahead.
Well,
right?
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
If anybody can do it, it's the Admirals, who, of course, are the champs of the league, the reigning champs, as Chevy Clark is in there 3-0, and all of a sudden, Koenig is not close to the strike zone against the leadoff batting Chevy Clark, who's only batting 200. And I say only, but by comparison to the other guys up and down the lineup, it's the lowest number in the lineup as he takes a called strike. 3-1 with Kinnery on deck. Koenig, another fastball is swung on and fouled back to the screen, and now it's full.
A lot of the Admirals, if you look at the team batting average at a 286, a lot of them are within that 200 to 250 range for a lot of these guys. So to see 200, while it's a low number, it's not totally out of character for the Admirals.
6 bombs driven in by Clark. That's a lot for a leadoff batter, and he takes high, and Koenig walked him. So Chevy Clark, who's about the biggest leadoff guy in the league by a foot and 50 pounds, trots down to first base. That is a big dude and a big guy for a leadoff batter. And here is Ryan
Now
Kinnery.
batting for the Admirals, number 4, Ryan Canary.
Want to start off with power. That's probably what they're thinking.
Kinnery is 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks so far tonight. Nick Akins Sr. is on deck. And we're in the top of the 5th inning where the Pacifics lead by a score of 6-0. Big Bender is away, and Lindsay wants to go have a quick word with Koenig.
Hey, fans, want to party with the Pacifics? Reward your employees.
Kinnery just a hair over 3/4 of a point with a batting average over Clark at 276. Bit more of a consistent hitter. 46 at bats. My bad. 192 at bats. I read the line wrong. I flipped the numbers.
For more information.
So go ahead with the rest of the line there. He's got 192 at bats. You say how many hits in that? That would be the 46, I bet.
53 hits.
Okay.
Let's see what the 46 is.
Koenig comes home. A fastball across the knees is taken. 1-1. So in 46 games, he's got 192 at-bats and 53 hits. A soft toss over to first, just to let Clark know that Koenig's still thinking about him. I like Clark's look with the hose very high, all the way to the knees. Oh, high cheese is swung on and missed, and Kinnery was not close, 1-2. I would say that's about the hardest pitch that Koenig's unleashed tonight.
You could just hear it.
And it was way up in the zone. Professional hitters love high fastballs. I'm not sure why. There's a curveball, and he popped him up. Koenig is going to give way to Big Jake Taylor, who comes down the line and makes the grab. On the play, Clark is unable to advance. 2 away. Here is Nick Akins Sr.
Now batting for the Admirals, 13, Nick.
So after the pop-up to Jake Taylor at first, Nick Akins Sr. Now, Akins Sr. has 21 bombs. And as you know, Jake, that leads the Pacific Association in home runs. And for people who like the long ball, well, this guy leads all comers.
21 bombs, and it certainly reflects in his batting average. We were talking about the past 2 hitters, under 3 with between, 200 flat and 276. Akins Sr. has one of the top 3 batting averages on the team at .333. Like I said, it certainly reflects in his 21 runs, 67 hits for 201 at-bats.
Akins takes a curveball away, 2-0. I got a feeling that Koenig is just staying away from Akins a little bit, as anybody would when you're facing the guy who leads the league with home runs. He's not a guy you're going to want to be really aggressive and go after. Although a 3.33 is a decent batting average. It's certainly nowhere near the top of the league as he swings at a fastball and was not close. Actually, it was a little slider. Just had him fooled. Late break. Akins has a quick word with Dean Petit, our home plate umpire. Not sure what they say, but hitters oftentimes grumble at umpires. I don't know if umpires say anything back. They've got the mask on, and they're facing away from us. So really don't know.
Sure, Dean Potit's heard every...
I'm sure he's heard it all. 2-1, another fastball, and this is straight across the knees. Akins just a little bit behind it. It's 2-2. There are 2 down, 1 on. It's a 6-0 ball game, top 5. Albert Park. July 24th, 2018. Pacific's in first place, and they just want to keep pouring it on. The last 10 games, the Pacific's 4-6, a funky run. for the first place team, who at one point led the league by 5 games. Well, Aikens goes down swinging. No runs and no hits, and with 1 runner left on base, the Pacifics will be sending Rando Moreno, Javion Randall, and Brent Gillespie. 2, 3, 4 batters in order, 320, 414, and 287. Pacifics are sending out the heavy guns. Bottom 5 coming up. And speaking of the heavy guns, here's our heavy gun. Max, take it away.
Well, both the Pacific's offense and pitching has been absolutely dominant this game. Definitely the makings of a blowout, perhaps. Still no runs allowed for the Pacifics. They've just been shutting them out, and then as you can see, runs upon runs for the Pacifics. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. You're watching the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics on Marin TV.
The 2018 San Rafael Pacifics baseball, first pitch to Rando Moreno, popped up in foul territory, headed over to Central Page Plaza, where it will land without harm. 1 no balls, 1 strike to Moreno. Ethan Estrada with Jake, 6-0 Pacifics. And before the game, we were talking about how we haven't been here for a blowout yet.
Not yet, you know. Like we were talking, like I was talking about with Stu, and like I'm sure Stu has probably mentioned to you, you never want to jinx it when it comes to scores just early in the game. But of course, it certainly, as it stands right now, is a blowout. Admirals can't get anything going. Pacific's killing it, looking like a first place team as they are. Yeah, you know, and like Stu and I mentioned, every time we've been in the booth, we've talked on a W for the Pacifics. So who's to say this isn't the night where they get a blowout win? So we'll see.
So now here comes Javion Randall, who has been playing on an entirely different planet for the entire season. First pitch misses down and away for ball 1.
4.26 batting average, I believe, right? Or am I getting that number
in the last week?
In the last week, yeah. Unbelievable for anybody to have that kind of batting average in a week, and then let alone most of the season.
The pitch is another ground ball. Nice play, backhanded by the third baseman, Fernacci, who throws it across the diamond to Ryan Canary. The nab, the speedy Javion Randall for round number 2.
Now batting for your Pacifics, number 20, Brent Gillespie.
So now here comes Brent Gillespie, who last time up crushed one, a no-doubter over the right field wall. As Valentino, although he's giving up a whole bunch of runs, he's still in the ball game. And the first pitch to Gillespie misses up and away for ball number 1.
That was his 8th run, I believe. I think this last run that Gillespie got had to be his 8th, tacked onto his 7th that he had coming into the game.
And here comes the pitch. It misses down in the dirt.
And with this momentum that the Pacifics have going, I'm sure Gillespie wouldn't mind a 10th. Or 9th, I should say.
So
I can't count, Ethan.
Gillespie searching for his 9th home run. Valentino's pitch, swing and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gave him the heater. He couldn't catch up. Gillespie has been a linchpin in this Pacifics lineup, leading them to the best offense in the league. And not an offense that hits for a lot of power, but one that has speed and average. 2-1, fouled back into the screen, evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ethan, you've had quite the
Well, here and the pitch, swing and a miss. He gets Gillespie swinging, and that will end the inning. Frank Valentino settled in very nicely after a very rough 3rd inning. He pitches 2 superb innings. And at the end of 5, the score is Pacifics 6, Admirals nothing, as we send it down to the sideline with Max.
Show your wristband from tonight's game, and you get it free tomorrow. What a deal.
Yeah, another quick inning. I believe that was a 1-2-3 inning. Some technical difficulties, but we're all good here at Marin TV. So stay tuned as you're watching the 2018 State NFL Pacifics on Marin TV.
And welcome back to San Rafael Pacific's baseball here on Marin TV. The score is Pacific 6, Admirals nothing. First pitch from Koenig misses low. For ball one to David Kiriakos. Ethan Jake here with you for the top of the 6th inning, as Koenig has been really good tonight. Pitch swing and smoked down the line into the parking lot across the street. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Koenig is still standing. 6 innings in, and obviously hasn't been that crazy of an offensive game for the Admirals, but for Koenig to stay as fresh as he has, to be pitching as good as he has 6 whole innings in, it's a testament to the skill.
The 1-1 pitch inside, called a strike. Beautiful placement, and Dean Poteet called it a strike.
Koenig, of course, no record to laugh at. 4-1 record, only 3.2 3.24 runs allowed, and leads the league in strikeouts with 75.
So that is a ball
coming into this game.
Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes, and he's piled on the K's today, adding to that league-leading total. And he wanted another strikeout on that last pitch, but Dean Poteet said no, so it evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 hard grab ball right at Zach Files. Handcuffed him over to Taylor. Beautiful play. Beat him by a mile for out number 1. To being handcuffed in baseball is one of the worst feelings in the world. You get that really bad short hop and you kind of try to absorb it, but I don't know, it's not fun.
I know exactly what you mean. Even if you get your body in front of the ball, and Files obviously got the ball, but to catch it in such a weird way where your whole body is just mangled, where you have to completely readjust your throw, it doesn't feel good. But again, same way we talk about Koenig being an amazing pitcher, Files an amazing third baseman, knows how to adjust, knows how to make that play, and just like that, we got 1 out.
The first pitch from Koenig, beautiful breaking ball, cuts over the inside to the first pitch for Vladimir Gomez. Koenig, that curveball has been spectacular tonight. The 0-1 pitch, swinging another hard ground ball out of the reach of Files, out of the reach of Moreno, and in to the outfield. That bat sounded weird right off of contact. Sounded like a metal bat. But nonetheless, he's standing at first base with a 1-out single.
That sound definitely made me jump, after that flying bat incident earlier in the game. I definitely assumed that we had a broken bat or another flyaway on our hands, but no, just like you said, a weird sounding one, and another one of those unfortunate grounders. Same with the handcuffs, another unfortunate just kind of ball where Files either has to adjust or there's nothing he can do about it, and it was just a hair out of his reach, regardless.
So now second baseman Brandon Fisher, first pitch curveball slipped out of the hand of Koenig for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Koenig has been dominant, and I've been lucky enough to see him from 2 angles, from up here in the booth and down in the dugout. And he's just looked great no matter where you watch him from as he checks the runner at first base. He's already picked off 1 today. I don't see why he won't want number 2. As Koenig gets ready and delivers, and it's a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. The infield for the Pacifics is Files, Moreno, Ulande, and Taylor. Outfield, Randall, Clark, and Dempster. Behind the plate, Mark Lindsay. And, of course, Jared Koenig, who just misses low and outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Is in his 6th inning of work. And not just 6th inning of work, looking for his 6th 0 of the night. Only 5 hits allowed. He has been shut down today. And that one's a strike. That one catches the outside corner. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, the same way we were talking about Koenig coming into this game with 75 strikeouts. Koenig only has given 28 bases given on walks to batters.
The 3-1, swinging a ground ball. Backhanded dive by Moreno, but he'll have no play. Great stop but he was too far in the hole to do anything with it, especially with the speed of Brandon Fisher. And that will bring up Brandon Pugh. Back-to-back Brandons coming up. And they're going to come out and have a chat with Koenig. Make sure he hasn't lost anything.
Hey kids, do you want to play?
I think even if this ended up being the inning where they decide to have Koenig step down to get another pitcher in there, I don't think you could really say Koenig did anything other than great, so far. And if they keep him up here, and if he can tack on yet another 0 and just get 6 in a row, that looks nothing but fantastic on his stat sheet. So yeah, definitely have a talk. Depot Team making his way out there. Probably tell the guys to hurry up, get the game going.
We are in the 6th inning. Game started at 7:09. It's already almost 9 o'clock.
It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's been going pretty quick, but now that you've mentioned the time to me, Ethan, I'm sure it'll be 11 o'clock and I won't notice in the 8th. So we'll see. We'll see if you've put me in a box here mentally.
Long game, but there's been plenty of action to distract us.
Brandon Pugh.
So now Brandon Pugh will step in.
Brandon Pugh, the best batting average on the team so far.
And the first pitch, he knuckles one into left field, and that'll fall. Scoring easily is Gomez, and Koenig cracks for 1 run. How unfortunate is that? A ball off the handles that finds its way to some outfield grass. Gomez with fantastic speed comes all the way around to score. And just like that, it is 6-1 with first and second, and only 1 out. And the scorching hot Kyle Figueroa batting .526 in the last week. 3 doubles, 4 RBIs.
I would have thought after talking about Javion Randall that I wouldn't have found a number that was bigger than the .426 that he had, but a .526 batting average in just 1 week, regardless, is outstanding, and like you said, scorching hot. So I think with 1 run finally on for the Admirals, Koenig definitely has a little bit to worry about with 2 runners on.
First pitch misses down low, ball 1. And you might say it's a short sample size, but that's baseball. Baseball's short sample sizes. What can you give me this week? What can you give me this month?
Probably, if you really found the right guy, there's probably someone keeping stats and average them out of the last hour. So that's the nature of baseball, like you said.
The 1-0 pitch misses upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. And you can tell Koenig pitching around him a little bit. Don't want to give him anything to hit. 3 doubles in the last week is nothing to sneeze at.
And with batters like Figueroa, it's not just batting averages. For on-base percentage, he's got a whopping .684, and that's just having a good eye. And like he's already 2 balls in. He just knows what pitches not to swing at.
2-0 swings and
I know
offs it behind us into the park behind us.
And
2 balls, 1 strike.
And I know, Ethan, sometimes it sounds like no duh, but you'd be surprised with what pitches some batters choose to swing at and choose to just let go. So to be able to know the second it leaves Koenig's hand which one he's going to be swinging at, which one he's just going to let go and get another ball, that's a really smart batter.
2-1, swing and a miss.
And right after I say that.
Everybody says there's something called broadcaster jinx. And I think you just did it to Figueroa right there, which if you're going to do it to the opposing team.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, I think on this broadcast with the Pacific's, okay to admit that I have a bias open for the Pacific. So I don't mind that I just did that to Figueroa, but we'll see if he readjusts.
The 2-2 pitch. And just a bit inside. Poteet said no, and that's the only opinion that matters. Full count now, making Koenig work. The Pacifics with a 1-game lead in the division over the Sonoma Stompers. Vallejo in 3rd place, 6 games back, but 1 win can flip the script. And Koenig will step off and look back at the runner.
Lets him know that he's thinking about him back there.
So now Koenig gets the sign that he likes. And the 3-2 pitch with the runners going, he fouls it back. I like high socks. Figueroa wearing the high socks. That's what I wore throughout my entire 4-year baseball career. Wore nothing but high socks.
I think I wore the high socks, but I wore them wrong and kept them under the pants, so it defeated the purpose of me even having the high socks. I think I just sweated under my Little League uniform for 10 years, however long I played.
The high socks were my superstition. The 3-2 pitch, swing and another foul, backing out of play. Figueroa making Koenig work. Because every baseball player is a little superstitious. I only had 3 superstitions, I should say. How to wear high socks. I would always go into the batter's box the exact same way, and I had to have the same spot in the dugout. Only 3 superstitions I had in my entire baseball playing career.
Maybe that's why I was never any good, because I just never cared about what way my socks are on or where I sat.
And he will attempt to pick off. Taylor wasn't there, but he got back in plenty of time. But he's safe. Dangerous pickoff. And it is a rule if you try to pick off to where the first baseman's not at the bag, it's a balk and the runners can advance. So dangerous pickoff attempt from Jared Koenig. And the 3-2 pitch with the runners going, swing, and another lofted foul ball. Figueroa does not want to give in. His superstition is going wild.
How many pitches is this for Koenig at this at-bat? I feel like, if my memory serves, it feels as though that was the 8th pitch. It's definitely been a long one, a slog. Figueroa, if anything, wearing Koenig down.
So now the 9th pitch of the at-bat from Jared Koenig to Kyle Figueroa, swinging a foul off of Lindsay. That's the 3rd foul ball that he's taken off his chest protector. And this at-bat will go to 10 pitches. Kyle Figueroa, you can tell that the ball looks like a beach ball up there for him. Not giving in, not giving up. But can Koenig match him pitch for pitch? A cool night here in San Rafael. Feels so much better than back in my hometown.
100 degrees you told me today, huh?
100 degrees. Tomorrow's it's supposed to be 102.
Well, good luck. Hopefully I see you on Thursday if you don't pass out from heat stroke on the way over.
So now here comes the 3-2 pitch from Koenig. Runners going, swinging a chopper. Files wasn't there, and then save, pulled Taylor off the bag. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Tough luck. Jake Taylor couldn't get back to the bag in time, and when he got there, he had to stretch past the bag.
Now batting for Vallejo.
I mean, with that, Ethan,
Chris Fornacci.
as Fornacci steps up to the plate, with that for Taylor, it's jump up that high to catch the ball, or the ball goes over your head, and the runners come in and tack on even more points. So it's one of those lesser of two evil situations that obviously doesn't feel good because now bases are loaded and Koenig's got to get out of this jam. But there's not really a whole lot you can do with situations like that, which is unfortunate.
So now here comes Chris Fornacci. 14 home runs on the season. He has the power to make this a brand new ball game. All over that heater from Koenig. Fouls it straight back for strike 1. Dangerous situation for Jared Koenig. Playing with fire, and most often you get burned. So bases loaded, 1 out, 1 run in for the Admirals so far this inning. And here comes the pitch, and it's a slow curveball called a strike. Beautiful pitch. No balls, 2 strikes to Chris Fornacci. Chevy Clark on deck, the leadoff man.
Looking at Fornacci's stat line, 38 seems to be his favorite number, with 38 hits for 152 at-bats, 38 runs, and 38 RBIs coming in tonight.
Lucky 38. But that ball misses outside. Koenig working to try to get out of this inning, but everything he tries just doesn't go his way. Bases loaded, 1 out. Fornacci with the power to make this a brand new ball game. Koenig trying to keep it a comfortable lead and misses upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He has to be exhausted. He just got out of a 10-pitch battle with Kyle Figueroa. And not to mention, he faced 4 batters before him.
And he's going to have to, assuming, of course, I don't want to do the broadcaster jinx thing because apparently I got the power. Assuming Fornacci or one of these runners gets out, he's still got at least one more batter to face, just stating facts. So by the end of this inning, Koenig's going to be even more exhausted than I'm sure he already is.
And the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. A huge strikeout for Jared Koenig as it gets Chris Fornacci swinging for round number 2. Incredible. And now here comes Kavanaugh, and this might spell the end of the day for Jared Koenig.
I'm really glad my hex went again towards the Admirals on that one. But yeah, you can almost, it wasn't really that long conversation for Koenig. You can already tell that it's the end for Koenig up on the mound.
So Koenig will get the standing ovation because he pitched his heart out tonight. 5 2/3 of 1-run ball. He was spectacular, but with a threat on the bases for the Admirals, he will come out.
Oh, look at they're going back and forth. How cool. That's awesome production down there.
And it looks like
They're not even quite sure themselves if they're going to send up yet. They're, of course, talking about that. But like you said, Koenig pitched his heart out tonight. It's unfortunate that the pitcher coming in is going to have to be put into a 3-runners on jam. But they have a little bit of cushion to work with, not too much. They still have that gold number of 5 up on the lead. Let's see, it looks like...
just for while the
Your attention, please. Now pitching for your Pacific. Number 30, Joe Myers.
Okay, and here comes the first pitch from the new reliever, Angel Baez. He pours in a strike for strike 1. And for more information on the new pitcher, I'll toss it over to Jake for this one.
Well, thank you, Ethan. So Angel Baez has 11.2 innings pitched, an estimated runs allowed at 6.94, and a earned runs stat of 9. So
first pitch, ground ball, past the glove of Files and into left. Here comes one run. Here comes another, and it is 6-3. Oh, no. Oh, no, indeed.
right after I gave that stat line.
You've just been jinxing people all over the place tonight.
Just don't have me do stats, Ethan. I'm just gonna do the fun stuff. We'll see.
So now here comes Ryan Canary, who with one swing of the bat can tie this game up. Dangerous situation for the Pacifics, who had a comfortable 6-0 lead coming into the 6th inning. As now Angel Baez will try to limit the damage and get the Pacifics up to bat. First pitch, swing, and a popped up foul and out of play. Strike one.
Canary with closing in on 200 at-bats at 192, 53 hits, and one of the higher RBI stats on the team at 43 coming into tonight. So he's in a prime position right now to get 44, maybe even 45. So
the 0-1 misses upstairs, pick back to second base. Not in time. Moreno saved that ball from going into the outfield, and that would have spelled even more disaster for this half inning for the Pacifics. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Canary. How many homers does he have?
Canary is sitting at 15 home runs, Ethan. That's actually the second highest stat on the team.
So definitely has the power, but that gets away from Lindsay, and the Admirals will move up to second and third with 2 outs. Now a base hit makes this a 1-run ball game. Oh my. Baez comes in to get 1 out, and all of a sudden, Admirals have a prime situation to keep tacking on the runs.
150 fans to buy an adult beverage at that game will get a free Silver Peso Pacific Trucker hat.
There goes our dream for a blowout in the booth, Ethan. I know it ended a while ago, but I just realized that our hopes have been dashed. But
Yes, before the game, me, you, and Max talking about how the one thing we haven't seen yet is a blowout. We've seen everything. We've seen 2-run ball games. We've seen a walk-off. The one thing we haven't seen is a blowout.
some dreams just never come true, man. But we still got Thursday, but we're here on Tuesday right now. Admirals versus Pacifics, and Baez just needs to turn it on to get 1 out.
Hey, you never know. Pacifics still have 3 innings to tack on some runs, and here comes the pitch, swinging a foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ryan Canary. A man who has the power to tie the game, but Baez would like to keep it a 6-3 game. Here on a cool San Rafael night.
1 well-placed pitch for Baez could get the Pacifics out of this ugly back of an inning. Gives them some time to breathe.
So now the 2-2 pitch on its way. In the dirt, gets away from Lindsay. 1 run will score, and now it is 6-4. Not being able to get it done.
Right after I said 1 beautiful pitch. So what is that? Is that three hexes?
I think that's 4
This
now.
inning
You're
now?
around 4.
Jeez.
The bad luck all over the place. So now 3-2 count, 6-4 Pacifics. They came into this inning with a 6-0 lead, but the Vallejo Admirals not wanting to go away in the cool San Rafael night. The 3-2 pitch, swinging a foul ball that had the sound and the distance of a home run. Just went well out of play and will remain at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Canary home run can tie the game. A Baez strikeout can end the inning and bring the Pacifics up to bat. The 3-2 pitch. Swing, and he popped it up, way up there into that very dark sky. No one can find it. Lindsay reaches out and makes the catch. Literally by the tip of the catcher's glove. Do the Pacifics escape that inning with the lead? At the end of 5.5, the score is Pacific 6, Admirals 4. And with more information on that crazy inning, we'll send it down to Max.
Admirals. To be ended by what a spectacular catch by the catcher. The Pacifics definitely, have to put some work back on it if they want to, keep that comfortable lead they had. But wow. That was just ridiculous. Run after run. They just could not get out of that inning. Well, let's see if the Pacifics can, put some more back on the board to get a more comfortable lead. You're watching the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics on Marin TV.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's 1-0 against Big Jake Taylor, who slashes one down the third base line. It's 1-1.
Stu, you leave me for 1/2 inning, and then the Admirals get 4 runs.
Well, Well, we got to get it back together here. I was talking about I'm never comfortable. 6 at the time, 6-1 as Taylor flares one into shallow center, backing up his Fisher, one away. And Vallejo the champs too. They're not. They're never going to go down easy.
Now batting for your
So Taylor goes down in a flare to 4, and here's Zach Files with one away. 3 in the top of the 6th inning. It's a 6-4 ball game, everybody, right here on Marin TV. Files stands in and fouls one back to the parking lot, straight back, 0-1. Files on the night is 1 for 2. He went down looking in the 3rd, but a single and a run scored in the 2nd. And now here he is in the 6th. Files lets out a groan as he swings over the top of a breaking ball. 0-2. 1 out here as Files steps out and adjusts every piece of apparatus, gloves, protective gear, everything that he has. He tightens everything down. Valentino with that 4-2-8 steps off, and now he's ready to work again. 6-4 as the Admirals put 4 of them up. Check swing, and they want a word from Eric Thompson out in the field. He says no swing on the appeal. The Admirals playing so tough as Files. That 2.66 batting average. 9 bombs and 26 driven in coming into tonight's action. Files with a triple back in the 2nd. High cheese is taken.
Yeah, Files had an amazing at-bat earlier in the 2nd inning. Got that triple RBI, triple hit, losing my words. Triple got on the third base with an RBI. Kept that momentum for the Pacifics going, and like you said, the Admirals just playing so tough. Like
when you play a team like the Admirals, you can never have too big a lead.
No
lead is safe, and they proved it. And he swings at a little slider. That late movement had Files fooled, and Mark Lindsay will make his way out. I didn't mean to interrupt. 2 down.
I interrupted you, Stu, so don't apologize, but. No duh, but it only takes, 1/2 of an inning to make a whole new ball game. But especially like you just said, with the Admirals, the champs, you can't you can't get comfortable. You can never have too big of a lead, and it takes not even a half inning for them to get up on you. So
there's a changeup, and Lindsay takes 0 for 2 on the evening, and just what a perfect night. Now the wind, what wind there was at the start, which is about 7 or 8 miles an hour, has died completely.
And it cooled down real quick too. I think for about inning 1 and 2, it was quite the scorcher. But right after that, the wind died down, the sun went down just enough to make it a cool night. It's one of those perfect nights for baseball here at Admiral Park.
It is an absolutely perfect night. 70 degrees. It's 9:21 p.m. And it wasn't that hot today. It just is a perfectly balmy evening.
Exactly.
And if you like baseball, I mean, it couldn't be better. I'm still in shorts and shirt sleeve. It's unbelievable. Lindsay's in there, 2-1, Marin TV. And we have a lot on the line tonight, you and I. There's a flare over the first baseman's head, and that gets down for a base hit. Lindsay's aboard, and here comes Corey Dempster. All Corey Dempster did his last at-bat was a triple.
That's it.
And a run scored. And the Pacifics could use a little juice right now as they haven't scored. Well, they scored 1 back in the 5th. Or in the 4th, pardon me. But here in the 6th, after a very quiet 5th. And I noticed there's something wrong with the scoreboard that was donated by the International Brotherhood of Ironworkers, 551, and the NECA, and that was in 2015, or 2016, pardon me. That the Pacific's name keeps coming up and then going away, you see?
I noticed that earlier, and I thought that was intentional, but
I'm not sure why that would be.
But you were right earlier, Stu, about saying we have a lot on the line. Not only do the Pacifics need to keep their one-game lead over the conference, but you and I cannot have our winning streak snapped.
Well, I would hope
of
not.
being in the booth and having the Pacifics catch another W.
Lindsay fouls one off the knob of the bat, and it goes back. So a check swing turns
Lindsay's
into
on first base.
a strike.
I believe.
You are absolutely right. Pardon me. I meant Corey Dempster. Lindsay at first.
I'll take that.
Yeah, there you go. That was that flare to right field that got down. So very good. Way to keep me on my toes.
Me correcting you will help me rest easy. That'll
Here's
feel good.
the 0-2 curveball is taken, and it's 1-2. Ulande is on deck. That I'm certain of.
I will not argue with you.
If not, who's in the batter's box? This will be a good opportunity to clean my glasses and blame anything other than my lack of brain matter, I guess. Is what it is. Got to be on your toes here. But, yeah, the big thing I was talking about, and, of course, the Pacifics want to keep that first place going as Dempster swings right under a high fastball.
No runs, 1 hit.
But that is that we have a perfect
One
record
runner left.
here on Marin TV and our coverage
Don't forget,
of the
fans,
Pacifics,
You can still take home a
where the
Pacifics
score
winner
remains
tonight.
6-4.
We need
On
two
a,
available
and
bets
baseball
for
is a
the
beautiful
next
thing,
phase
as you and I would
of
both
baseball.
agree.
In order to
Absolutely.
remember,
And on a perfect night for baseball, I'm going to send it down to one of the perfect guys on the crew. Here's Ethan.
Well, I'm not that perfect, but anyway, it was a quick inning. It was a quick inning for the Admirals, and now it's time for Angel Baez to throw up another 0. And a game that was 6-0, it is all of a sudden a very close game. You're watching Marin TV's live coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics.
And welcome back, everybody. And let's see here. It looks like Nick Akins is going to lead things off as we've reached the top of the 7th inning. It's 6-4 ball games. Akins takes a called strike. Well, there's a good angle of one of our fans. I don't know, he's a Dodger fan, though. Surprising that they would let him in.
I believe they're in the 14th inning right now over in Philly.
0-2 as Akins swings at just a nasty breaking ball. Yeah, they went to the fan with the Dodger hat on. Here at Albert Park, Pacifics fans are generally, I mean, not more than general, I'd say 95% of them are Giants nuts. And I mean that with it's a compliment in the highest regard. So then to go to a Giants fan. Whoa, and Baez just heaves one right over the head of Akins. So, and I was over on the radio side working with Forrest Hunt, and I don't know if Ethan covered the line on Baez, but I don't think these are updated stats, unfortunately.
That is a shame indeed.
Huh? Well, we're going to get the line on Baez if we can. Oh, slashed up the middle, and Baez ends up on his rear end on the mound, and it almost took his head off. A line drive, and Baez did well just to get out of the way of it. Nick Akins has his second knock of the night. It's straight up the middle. He just ripped an 0-2 fastball straight up the middle. And Baez in 8 games, he's thrown 11 2/3, given up 8 hits, 9 runs, all earned, 10 walks, 13 strikeouts, a 1-1 record, and a 6.94 ERA. The pitch to Kiriakos is popped up, hauled in by Don Andre Clark, and there's one away. Here we are. There's Max. Good opportunity. Smile at the camera, Max. There we go. Everybody likes to see a good old Max. Max, where do you go to school?
Redwood High School.
All right, so you're a student over at Redwood and working on becoming a broadcaster. And where better than to be here in the CMCM broadcast booth learning the craft. You and Ethan and Jake getting some pro experience.
From the great Stu. It's been an absolute honor to serve with you.
Well, that makes me feel sort of weird referring to me as the great Stu, but I guess you mean it. I'm not sure if you're totally busting me with that one.
Oh, no, not at all. You are great at your craft, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be up here with you.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you, so right on for you and me. There's a fastball to Vlad Gomez. Now, Gomez is so tough. He's 2 for 3 on the night. A run scored, a single, and a double. But you're here because you signed up to get this professional experience. I mean professional baseball. Not so much with me, but getting to work with the CMCM guys and live television. And, same with Ethan and Jake. Now, those guys go to Dominican, and Jake's got one more year to go, and he's going to be off on his own. But Ethan just finished his freshman year, so he's only a year or two ahead of you. And he realized as Gomez goes down, his second strikeout of the night, bringing up Brandon Fisher, he realizes what a golden opportunity this is because, in independent ball, teams come and go. And as long as the Pacifics are here and Dominican and Marin TV and the Pacifics can, kind of as a triumvirate there, work to get young people this kind of live experience. Man, it's invaluable as you're learning. And this is popped straight up and over toward Jane's First Base Cafe and out of play. Brandon Fisher batting .260 is 1 for 2 on the night, a double, a walk. Check it, he's 2 for 3 on the night. He scored as part of that big rally for the Vallejos back in the 6th. 0-1, and Dean Poteet, the home plate umpire, wants to time. He calls things, settles everybody down. Angel Baez is back out there on the hill. He's ready to go. And a perfect fastball to Fisher is taken for a strike. You got Akins Sr. over there at first base. No, they have a pinch runner in for Akins. Is that possible? I think that's exactly what it is. Pinch runner has come in place of Akins, and he's number 15? I can't see it from here. Max?
15.
Do we know who that runner is?
If I could see his jersey number, I would. Is he 15? 18?
He just won't turn enough.
He will not, no.
At any rate, whoever the pinch runner is, 13. There we go. All right, Max will get his name now that we know his number. There's a foul ball. Check it. A curveball in the dirt. Taken by Fisher. And now it's 2-2. He's taking an absolutely gigantic lead. Almost insulting. It's such a huge secondary lead. The primary lead is 6 or 8 feet away from Jake Taylor. And Baez is yet to throw over, and now he does. Very high. And lucky for Akins, or the pinch runner in place of Akins. Akins reached with a single up the middle, and the pinch runner is, we'll know here in a moment. But now Baez is focused on the runner, and he comes home, and the high, hard one is taken. And now it's 2-2 to Brandon Fisher, the right-handed batting second baseman. He has a lot of power as Fisher. He's got 7 bombs, 25 driven in. He walked, a double, a run scored.
That would be
2 hits on the night. He's takes one across the knees, and he walked him.
It's just Nick Atkins. Here it is.
Nick Akins. Well, I wonder what he's
already
I
in.
see.
Sorry
So
about
the numbers are screwed up on the roster, but now we're underway. So it's not a pinch runner. Akins, in fact, senior, Nick Akins Sr. is over at second base.
For Vallejo, 28, Brandon Pugh.
And here's Brandon Pugh. So Pugh, batting .231, is the DH. The cousin of the great Tillman Pugh, And he's wearing the same old helmet that his cousin wore when his cousin Tillman Pugh, who before he got called up to A-ball, played with the Vallejos for 5 years and always wore the blue helmet. I wonder if that's his cousin's helmet. I bet it is.
Gotta keep it in the family.
Got to keep it in the family. And Tillman, of course, Tillman Pugh, one of the best players in the Pacific Association. It was always very tough on the San Rafael Pacifics. And now all of a sudden, Angel Baez cannot find the strike zone, 1-1. Pugh, the DH, with Kyle Figueroa on deck. 2 on, 2 down. It's a 2-run ball game. And Baez needs to dig deep here, get the Pacifics back up to the plate. Top 7. Pacifics have been totally dominant tonight until the 6th inning, when the Vallejos threw a 4-pack up and got the Pacific's attention in a big way. Pugh steps out. Pugh, a very kind of a gangly left-handed batter. It's a big, long stroke. Baez takes a little extra time, comes set, and he swings right over the top of a slide piece that was just gorgeous. Late break, right on the outside black. That was power on power. It's 2-2. Figueroa on deck with a 3.67 average and 24 RBIs. He's got runners in scoring position, but for now it's Pugh. And he swings over the top of a breaking ball, and somehow Baez is able to work his way out of it. And the good old Pacifics will be coming up with a 2-run advantage. It'll be the bottom of the order, Kyle Ulande, followed by Don Andre Clark and Rando Moreno when we come back. But for now, to the field, we'll take it. And here's Jake.
Stu, my good friend Ethan, last inning update said that Baez had to produce another 0 for the Pacifics and get that momentum back, and that he did. Another 0 after a honestly pretty ugly 4-run inning for the Admirals. But Pacifics are looking just as good as ever. Good defense, and we're going to get into the bottom of the 7th here on Marin TV.
Well, we're blasting our way into the bottom of the 7th inning, everybody. It's 6-4 in favor of the home team, the San Rafael Pacifics. All right, thank you very much. For the Pacifics, Ulande steps in and takes a strike, and he is backed up with a ball. It's 1-1. We have the line on the new pitcher for Vallejo, and that's Tim Holmes. He's appeared in 12 games and delivers away to Ulande, 2-1. In those 12 games, 16 1/3 innings pitched, 18 hits in 13 runs, all earned. 13 walks against 15 strikeouts, a 7.16 ERA, and Ulande fouls it out onto Ederson Drive. Thank you, Max. There's a good view of the VIP section, which half of it is the VIP section, the other half is the Pacific's dugout.
Talk about getting close to the game.
Yeah, they're right there. They're closer. Those VIP seats are actually closer to the field, I think, than the Pacific's in the dugout. This is slashed towards short. Kiriakos up with it. Long throw. In time. 1 away. Well, we're back to the top of the order. Don Andre Clark. Well, he's had a busy night tonight.
Number 1, Don Andre Clark.
A walk, a run scored back in the 3rd. And a pop up and a fly ball. Clark is due. Pacific 6, Admirals 4. Of course, the Admirals are the champs of the Pacific Association in 2017. Rando Moreno's on deck. 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, and all they need is for DeAndre Clark to get on base because he is absolutely lethal with that speed once he's able to get on base.
Don Andre in his first year has been so good out in center field, and due in large part to his speed. And guy's a showman. He's a character. And he's an amazing hitter. 355. And you see he has this kind of windmill, kind of golf action, but he manages to make a lot of contact and beat out a lot of infield hits. Here's the 1-1, and he swings right through a breaking ball. And now it's 1-2. Clark, 10 bombs. With that swing it just doesn't look like he generates a ton of bat speed. And yet, when he makes solid contact, it goes out of the park. Quite often. This is a fastball that skips off of home plate and pops over the head of the catcher, Kyle Figueroa. So now it's 2-2. One away, bottom 7. Clark, 53 RBIs. But unless he knocks one out of here, he's not going to pick up an RBI during this AB. Big curveball and hit him right in the knee. Just nailed him. So Tim Holmes comes in, gets a ground ball for Kyle Ulande, and then he nails Don Andre Clark. So with one away, the Pacifics have a base runner, the first hit batsman of the night. And with any luck, the only one. Moreno in the 2-hole has played in 46 games. This is his 204th at-bat this season.
And I think one of the most interesting statistics for him is in his past 26 at-bats, he only has 1 strikeout.
How about that? That's absolutely incredible. On the season, he struck out 22 times is all in 204 at-bats.
Yeah, in the past week, he's been hitting 346 with a 414 on base percentage as well. So he's been getting on there and he's been scoring the runs.
414 on base percentage. That's absolutely incredible. Throw over to first base is a perfect strike, and somehow Don Andre Clark scurries back to the bag, gets a fingertip in there just ahead of the throw. Tim Holmes, the big right-hander, on the hill for the Admirals, a 7.16 ERA. This is chopped up the first base line and just trickles foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Javion Randall is on deck. Randall has batted over 400 all season long. 48 games into the 2018 campaign, and he's still over 400. It's incredible. Absolutely the best batting average for any Pacifics player in the history of the Pacifics, the storied franchise history. This is chopped towards second, scooped up by Brandon Fisher, on to first, and Moreno is gone. On the play, Don Andre moves over to second base, and here is
Number 3,
Javion Randall, who batting, let's see. Randall is batting .420 after his RBI squib and run scored back in the third. He just sort of squibbed one up the third base line in the third and was able to beat it out. And was credited with an RBI and then scored a run himself.
Yeah, that was his 9th in this past week. So let's see if he can make it 10 right now.
Is that right? 9 RBIs just in the past 7 games or 7 days. That's amazing. In the past 7 days, there's been 6 games. These guys only take Mondays off, fans. You're going to play professional ball, you play every day. And you get that 1 day off a week. Otherwise, you're here pounding it out. Randall, 10 bombs, 54 driven in.
And again, 2 of those 10 bombs have also come in this past week. He is on an absolute tear in these past 7 days.
Well, it's a good time to peak. You got to be peaking when you play the Admirals if you want to somehow get by them. And the Pacifics still have a long road to hoe, only up by 2. Fastball is across the knees. And it's 2-0. Just a little low. Brent Gillespie is in the on-deck circle. 2 down, Javion, the 3-hole hitter. Strong-armed guy over in left field. And this is stroke toward Kiriakos at short. Crow hop onto first. And Javion is gone. 6 to the covering 3 to end it. Well, the Pacifics threatened a little something there, Max. They just couldn't get anybody across. As it turns out, the Pacifics' 2-run lead stays intact as we go to the top of the 8th. And for P.J. Phillips Admirals, it'll be Kyle Figueroa. Then it'll be Chris Fornacci. And then it will be Chevy Clark. For us here at Marin TV, I'm going to send it down to our leadoff man. Here's Ethan.
Well, it is still a 6-4 ball game after 7 innings. The Pacifics had a 6-0 lead until the Admirals struck for 4 runs in the 6th. Now it's up for the Pacifics defense and pitching to put up another 0 to make it another victory, a much-needed victory for the San Rafael Pacifics. Here watching live coverage of their 2018 season here on Marin TV.
Well, here's Kyle Figueroa in the top of the 8th inning where the Pacifics maintain a 2-run lead. 6-4 as
I hate to sound like a broken record, but again, on these past week stats, Kyle Figueroa is hitting .526 with 3 doubles and 4 RBI.
Figueroa stands in 0-2 on the night. 1 for 3, a strikeout. On the top of the 8th, and he just waves it. Strike 3. And when you make a guy like Figueroa look the way he just did on that pitch, that's downright nasty. Here's Chris Fornacci. And Figueroa just the half-hearted wave, like he was, I don't know, like he was swinging a fly swatter and missing the fly. Realizing about halfway through the swing, the fly was nowhere up, nowhere near him. And Fornacci just got nailed. On the first pitch, Fornacci got wing boned. It was up and in, and he just took it as he turned away from it and got whacked. And now he's aboard the second hit batter of the game.
35.
1 for
Chevy
each team.
Clark.
And here's Chevy Clark. 1 away here in the 8th. Chevy Clark. Clark on the evening walked his last at-bat. Had a base knock to lead things off. The very first pitch of the game. He went straight up the middle, but was stranded there at first. Runner goes, throw down to second is wide of the bag. And Fornacci has it stolen. Third baseman Fornacci, pretty light and fast on his feet. Pitching for the Pacifics is Tyler Herr. Big, tall right-hander who's come in here. Out of the bullpen. And look at how tall and then the way he wears those hose all the way up to his knees. It accentuates how tall he really is. There's a little late-breaking slider that falls into the hitting area for a called strike. 1 down, Fornacci the runner at second. Clark, 1-2 is the count. Top 8, 6-4. There's that slider again. And it's fouled first base line and hits one of the standards that holds the protective screen above the Budweiser club on the first base side. Ryan Kinnery is on deck. Tyler Herr has only appeared in 1 game for the Pacifics. 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. And it barely missed across the knees, taken 2-2. Dean Poteet is our home plate umpire, with good old Eric Thompson out in the field. These two guys, a 1-2 punch around the league, have worked hundreds and hundreds of games together in the Pacific Association. In fact, Dean Poteet was the home plate umpire on opening night this year, Max, as I'm sure you know.
Do you need the pen?
A 2-2 with one away.
Thank you. See you guys Thursday.
Tyler Herr, the big, tall right-hander. One down. And this is fouled back to the parking lot. And somehow, Clark was able to get just a chunk of it. And we'll do it again. He wears that protective apparatus on his left leading ankle, as many players do. Oh, up and in, and Clark almost got a whiff of it. I could not tell from my angle whether or not it caught him. That's how close it was, and if it was going to hit him, it was going to get his chin. He almost got a whiff of it, folks, but thankfully his cat-like reflexes enabled him to dive out of the way safely, because that one was going to hurt. Count is full. Can Herr get out of this? Oh, man, that barely missed him. There's a breaking ball, up and away, and he walked him. Well, all of a sudden, Tyler Herr is putting the Pacifics closer and closer to a world of hurt.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that this game just probably 30 minutes ago, it was a 6-0 Pacific's lead. Now with two runners on, the tying runner on first. This is an entirely new ball game.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, with one away and that go-ahead run at the plate. One swing by Kinnery, and things are going to change mightily. He's 0 for 3 tonight, up and away, and Herr's all over the place. Nick Akins is on deck, but it's Kinnery's moment in the spotlight. A 2.76 hitter. And he's third in the Pacific Association with 43 driven in. He's got another one at second base, and he fouls it back to the parking lot, 1-1. 15 bombs for Kinnery. He popped to Big Jake Taylor back in the fifth, but a couple strikeouts. 2 on, 1 away. Changeup is taken low and away, 2-1. And all of a sudden, Pacific's fans are on heightened alert. Kinnery, with one swing, could put the Vallejos ahead. And Herr doesn't want any part of it, and he swings at a breaking ball. It's the best pitch, Max, that Herr has thrown since he's come in.
Definitely. And the batter, he is the second on the team currently in home runs. So, yeah, that one swing is looking awfully close right now.
2-2.
I think that's going through Herr's mind.
An extra long look into Lindsay. Herr's ready. Here's the 2-2. Oh. Just a little outside. Now it's full. Just miss the outside black. A lot of action. I can hear it down in the Pacific's bullpen. Looks like there might be a couple, a right-hander and a left-hander going. Admirals' bullpen is quiet. Count is full, and Herr steps off. Fernacci is dancing around out there at second base. Clark, the runner at first. Count's full. As big a moment in this game as there has been, and he got him with a curveball. 2 down. Woo. Herr is able to get past McInnery on
Now batting
8
for the
pitches.
Admirals, number 13, Nick.
Well, that changes things because now the force at any base, with the exception of home plate, gives the infield advantage to the Pacifics. They're playing the shift now on Akins, the Pacifics, and he, with a Herculean hack, he fouls one into the glove of Lindsay. Strike one. Kyriakos is on deck.
Yeah, they're definitely playing that any base position. As you can see, all the infielders are pretty far back.
And the infield's all shifted over toward third. In fact, Kyle Ulande, the second baseman, is on the left field side of the second base bag. And another breaking ball is swung on a miss. A little two-seam late movement. And Akins behind the count, 0-2. Can Herr finish the deal? 2 on, 2 down. Pacific's lead is 2, and it's late. Tyler Herr takes a long look in. Lindsay with a sign. Here it is. Oh, the breaking ball. Just a little bit low. It's 1-2. It's a perfect night for baseball, although quite a few fans have taken off. When it was, like you said, it was 6-0 until just an inning and a half ago. And that's when the Admirals went on the 4-run tear and made things interesting. Now Herr spins and takes a little long look at Fernacci, dancing around there at second base. And Fernacci's all over the place. Ulande's right behind him now. The big shift is on. 0-2, 1-2, and he got him with a curveball, and Akins goes down, and Herr gets out of it, and the Pacifics slide through a really lucky half inning with 2 runners on and a lot of momentum going the way of the Admirals. It'll be Gillespie, Taylor, Files when we come back in the bottom of the 8th, where the Pacifics lead by only 2. Jake Taylor will bat fourth, but for us, our own Jake is on the field.
So 1 more 0 produced for the defense here at Albert Park. Pacifics have one last really good chance to get a bigger lead than they already have. It's a small 2-point lead right now. Pacifics have one last good chance to get an even bigger lead and hopefully just shut these guys out for the top of the 9th and get another win and keep that lead in the conference going. Don't miss it. The last inning and a half here at Albert Park on Marin TV.
Well, the place is buzzing. Max, after Tyler Herr, who was with the club in 2016. I just went and checked with Mike Shapiro, the president and general manager of the club. And I said, don't we know Tyler Herr from some place in Pacific's history? And sure enough, Mike confirmed. Herr was with the club in 2016, went to the American Association, and is now back with the San Rafael Pacifics. And they just got him last week. And he looked really good there, Max. I'm sure you would agree. A little sketchy for the first couple batters. After that, very, very strong. Well, first pitch bunting is Brent Gillespie. Not a guy that you would expect to bunt. Thus, the infield is way back. But as it turns out, it was foul. Gillespie, Taylor, Files. Off speed, taken 1-1. On the night, Gillespie had the big bomb in the third. Home run over the right field wall. It was right on cue. Ethan and Mike Shapiro were talking about how Gillespie has improved, it seems like, game after game. And he's turned into a great hitter by league standards, 287 batter. But it's when he does it. And, of course, that's the big component to being a good hitter. You know, like any athlete, situational. If you are behind in a basketball game, 92 to 50, well, maybe you're a great three-point shooter. But when there are 3 seconds left and the game's tied, Well, those are the greats. And Gillespie's one of those guys that tends to hit the ball when it matters.
The clutch gene.
He's got the clutch gene all over the place. And Gillespie takes high 2-2. It's like you doing the analysis for the Pacifics. You know, you come in and lock it down, man. That's what it's about. And Gillespie swings over the top of an off-speed. That was a really nasty changeup. And here's Jake Taylor.
For your Pacifics, sponsored by Alton Construction.
Hey, Taylor has his own sponsorship company.
Jake Taylor.
Imagine that. You're sponsored by Red Bull, isn't that right? Hey, that's a cool watch. It's a baseball. Unbelievable.
Yeah, quite nifty.
That is. Indoors to Taylor. So Max has this watch that's the face of the watch is a baseball, the seam of a baseball, about an inch of a standard size baseball seam. It's not like the round. Yeah, let's show it. Show it to the camera there. Look at that thing. I know, that's cool.
A gift from my father.
Way to
A
go.
couple Christmases ago.
Pop, you nailed it.
Quite the guy.
All right. 1-1 to Taylor as he fouls it off. Taylor batting .310 coming into tonight's action. 8 bombs and 35 driven in. He's 1 for 3 on the night. Went down looking in the third. But a single and a run scored in the second. And an opportunity to do some damage late as we're in the bottom of the 8th. Pacific's up by 2. Admirals have 3 outs with which to work offensively. Taylor behind in the count 1-2 with Files on deck. 1 down. Top 8. 4 runs on 10 hits for the visiting Vallejo Admirals, the champions of the Pacific Association. So you don't ever want to... Oh! Did he beat him? No. I heard the sound, but it was the mitt off the catcher, Kyle Figueroa. But for an instant, I thought it caught him somewhere above the shoulders. And that's never a good place to get whacked. 2-2 to Big Jake. Taylor played 1 year at third base for the Santa Fells. And there's a high breaking ball taken, and it's full. Just a little bit high. He was a decent third baseman. But the move to first base has seemed to do a lot of good for the team. Long fly ball. Deep left field. On the move is Aiken at the base of the wall, and he's got it. And Jake just barely missed it. Maybe 6 or 8 feet short of a late inning home run. That would have been a good time to do it. And here comes Jake just underneath us. He's got that smile like, oh, man, I hit that very well.
Cranking out some push-ups now in the dugout.
I don't doubt it. 2 down. Files stands in and takes 1-0. Lindsey on deck. Files batting .266 coming into tonight's action. His first at bat back in the second inning, he pumped a triple into the right center field gap, ran all the way to the wall. And as he was rounding second, running away from the right center gap, the ball was running away from the second base bag. It was fun. Uh-oh. Long fly ball to deep center field. This is way up off the base of the wall. As Aikens takes one, it bounces his second triple of the night. Files just rounds his stand-up triple. That's 370 straight away, Max, and he got it about 10 feet up on the wall. Anywhere else in the ballpark, and that's out of here at the deepest part of the yard. And Aikens didn't know what to do with it. He got a good bounce on it, but Files, he's pretty fast. His second triple of the night, his 5th on the season.
Yeah, Albert Park definitely has been triples alley tonight. 4 triples tonight. That's ridiculous.
Absolutely unbelievable. Here's Lindsey. A fastball is taken high.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have loved for it to be probably a good 20 feet to the left or right, but he can't complain with such a hard hit ball.
Either way, Big Jake nailed his. but Files stroked it well beyond where Jake put it. Both were hit well, but man. Now, in 7 years, I've never seen a ball go over the 370 sign. I've seen them go over the extensions, those 45 degrees extensions, but never straight away center. And that was still 10 feet short, and that was nailed.
Well, it's got to be in Eli Garcia's head now. Back-to-back incredibly hard-hit balls all the way to the fence. And I'm sure he's going to probably pitch a little carefully now.
First base line and just runs foul. Garcia in 13 appearances, 17 strikeouts, 8 walks, and 8.33 ERA. So Files a runner at third, 2 down. Lindsay with an opportunity to stretch the lead. It's 1-2. And it would be gigantic if he could do it up and in. And they called a balk. Garcia did not come set. The balk allows Files to come in.
Against the Admirals, Eli Garcia.
And that's on Garcia all day, Max. So the triple turns into a free 90 feet and a run, and now it's 7-4. And how big is that?
That is huge. Definitely gives them a huge insurance run going into the top of the ninth, really putting the pressure on the Admirals to have to come up big in this final inning.
Oh, man. Curve ball. Lindsay swings over the top of it. Diving out for it is Figueroa. Figueroa ends up on his keister, whatever that is. First he kind of lunged forward, and then rolled over on his keister. I think that's how that works. And it looks like he kind of strained his left knee, but like Mark Lindsay, Kyle Figueroa just shakes it off and will sally forth.
Well, it's been a long one here for the fans tonight. We've now eclipsed over 3 hours since our 7:09 first pitch.
Chopper toward Kiriakos at short. Off balance, in time. Well, the Pacifics get the 1 run on the balk from Eli Garcia, and that's huge
1 run, 1 hit.
as Lindsay goes down 6-3.
Runners left.
Well, here's the last chance for Vallejo
Fans, how about I
to get back in this as we go top 9 at 7-4 San Rafael. For the Admirals, it will be David Kiriakos, Vlad Gomez, and Brandon Fisher. 4, 5, 6 hitters, 3 outs to go. Here's Jake on the field.
All right, crazy inning almost, I would say, for the San Rafael Pacifics here in the bottom of the 8th just now. Zach Files gets another triple, believe it or not, and then the weirdest possible run to ever get a balk for the San Rafael Pacifics brings Files into home plate, and Pacifics have 1 extra run on there, 3 runs in the top of the 9th, and let's see if we can defense can shut them out and keep that lead in the conference here on Marin TV.
Well, here's David Kiriakos, the ex-Pacific. Got a couple rings with the San Rafaels. He's going to lead things off in a 7-4 ball game. Kiriakos takes a fastball from Tyler Herr right down the pipe. Randall, Clark, Dempster from left to right for San Rafael. There's that big curve ball, and Kiriakos takes 0-2. Tyler Herr, 2016 club, just back now with the Pacifics. Big, tall guy, lanky, but has 3 or 4 really good pitches. And there's a slider swung on and missed by Kiriakos. 1 down as Herr looks to finish the deal. Vlad Gomez is 1 for 3 on the night. Back in the 2nd inning, a double to right field, stranded at third base. Check it, he's 2 for 4. He had a single and a run scored in the 6th. A couple of strikeouts along the way. Fisher on deck, 1 down, top 9. Pacific's by 3. 2 outs to go. Gomez, an imposing figure at the plate, swings across a breaking ball. 0-1. Batting .289, he has 4 bombs. There's a good view of our tremendous scoreboard here at Albert Park. And this is fouled out in the parking lot. And Max, you know, never park too close to the stadium, because those foul balls, every once in a while, you'll hear the splash of a windshield. Here's the 0-2. Oh, high bender.
Yeah, that takes me back to my Little League days when a kid would foul one off and you hear a groan from the parent as they looked upon their smashed window.
In the 7 years of Pacific's baseball, I've seen a few. Not a ton. But every once in a while, you know, baseballs end up going in weird places, and usually at a high velocity. At high velocity, not a high velocity. That doesn't make any sense. Here's the 2-2. Now to Gomez. 289 batter. Stroked up the middle. He's got another base hit. Well, that's his 3rd of the night. And Gomez will stop at first base. And with 1 down, he'll put it on Brandon Fisher.
Now batting for the Admirals, 25, Brandon Fisher.
Fisher batting .260. 7 bombs and 25 driven in. Fisher with a double in the 4th. A run scored in the 6th as part of that big 4-run rally that the Admirals mounted. But the only guy in the ball game tonight to walk more than once. Oh, and he swings at the high cheese. And it's 1-1. That was a pretty pitch from Her's perspective, but really kind of a uppercut swing, Charlie Brown style. And now a low off speeder is taken, and Fisher does not fish.
As Gomez zooms over to second base for his 5th steal of the season.
5 of them for Gomez, huh? There he is in the foreground, number 10. Oh, and a perfect slider. Just absolutely poured in. 2-2. This would be a great moment for Her to dig deep as he looks back to Gomez twice. Oh, and he backed him up with the same pitch, but just a little low in the zone. I'll tell you what, Max, through the hitting area, that looked pretty good. It had so much late snap on it, though. It had to be called a ball. Count full. And he walked him. Oh, brother. And I was kind of hoping for a late call.
That is a shame indeed. But Fisher is the team leader for steals, so let's see if they're going to start moving them around the bases, try to make some runs happen.
Well, fortunately, Fisher has nowhere to go because he's got Gomez ahead of him.
That is fortunate.
And now Lindsay wants to go out to the mound and talk about it. And here comes everybody. So Matt Cavanaugh has come in from the 3rd. No, let's see. Matt Cavanaugh. Matt Cavanaugh's sitting below us. For a moment, I thought Cavanaugh had come out, but it's just the infield. And they want to talk about how they're going to work this because now the tying run has come to the plate with just 1 away. And when you're playing against the champs, you cannot possibly overthink this. You've got to consider every possibility. And now that the hitter, Brandon Pugh, who's the DH, has been officially announced, now here comes Matt Cavanaugh, and he wants to talk with the infield. So it's going to be Pugh for sure, and now that they know they're not going to sub out somebody in the hitting area, now Matt Cavanaugh wants to talk about things with Her. Now remember, Her's only been here a week, so Now, Kavanaugh was the manager when Herr was here in 2016, so at least they have a relationship. And Matt Kavanaugh is going to go to the bullpen for a right-hander.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He wants... It looks like he's called for Jose Casilla. And, Max, you can check that just to confirm. It looks like...
Looks like Jose Casilla, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's number 5. Just to be positive, because we're so far away here.
45.
Oh, it's 45. Very good. I was off by 40. Well, 4 runs on 11 hits for the Admirals. 7 runs on 9 hits for San Rafael. And Max, why don't you bring our viewers the line? I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Will do.
I'm so ready. I'm incredibly ready. Because he has given up 18 hits, and he starts off Brandon Pugh, the DH, who's a gigantic threat. Although tonight he has a run score, but a couple strikeouts. And Casilla would take one of those right now. Starts him off with a strike. Across the knees, Figueroa's on deck. The fly ball to center field. Don Andre Clark has a beat on it. Clark with a great throw, and the cutoff is to Moreno on the play. He snaps it off to second base, and diving back on the play is Gomez. And from our angle, Max, it looked like Gomez was dead.
Oh, he was caught dead in his tracks. He almost just ended the game on a base running error. That is a mistake you do not want to go home with.
No, you're absolutely right. But somehow he got back to the bag. The Admirals are still alive with 2 down after a brilliant play by Don Andre Clark. It was a great catch, and then he was able to bring it into Moreno at short. And now with 2 down, Figueroa stands in and takes a strike. And the Admirals are down to their last 2 strikes. Figueroa way back in the box. Infield at medium depth. Chopper toward first. Taylor's got it. He'll take it himself. Ball game! Well, the Pacifics get it done after the late inning heroics by the Vallejos. 4 runs on 11 hits, no errors. And they left 11 on base. For the Pacifics, 7 runs on 9 hits, no errors, 4 on base. Frank Valentino with the loss, and Jared Koenig gets the win. Jose Casilla with a save. The Pacifics improve to 32-15, and the Vallejos record goes to 25-22. The Pacifics, based on whatever Sonoma did, are guaranteed to maintain their status as the leaders in the Pacific Association. And Max, it is now your turn to bring to the fans your perspective.
Sorry about that, Stu. My bad. But I just would love to note that that also keeps Marin TV at a perfect record on the season.
You're absolutely right. Well, I certainly need to get to that. Every single game we've telecast on Marin TV as part of the 2018 campaign, the Pacifics have somehow won. Now, tonight they were ahead 6-0, so I didn't overemphasize their somehowness. And that's certainly a word. At least it is tonight. But the Vallejos were storming back with 4 runs in the 6th inning, and the Pacifics were able to get it all back and get it back together, more importantly. The Pacifics are out on the field now signing autographs, and this is our opportunity to sign off. So, for Max, for Ethan, for Jake Moles, for Scott Calhoun, and the awesome Marin TV crew, who are downstairs, who brought you all of the great camera work tonight. Yours truly, Stuart Horn, signing off from Albert Park. And thanking you for spending your evening with us. The Pacifics win 7-4. We'll be back on the air 48 hours from now, 7:05 on Thursday night, our last telecast for the 2018 season right here on Marin TV. What a joy it's been. What a great night for baseball. We'll see you then, everybody, right here